Hello, everyone, and welcome to what should be a very exciting evening in ESL Challenger League. We've got two rosters which are very highly rated with some very, very well-known names and some new faces as well. So I'm very much looking forward to this one. Of course, alongside me will be the lovely Hayes, otherwise known as Matt. And yeah, I think this one could go either way.
Absolutely, mate. This is a 50-50 match off the bat here between these two teams, and it actually promises a lot of entertainment as well. I think we'll have some contrasting styles of Counter-Strike. We get to see more about this new Monte team as well. There's a lot to get excited about with this game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as you say, this new Monte's only played twice since its Polish revamp, of course, as well. So, and they've both been in ECL, so we can actually see how those matchups, of course, have been going for them. And have a look at the standings, and as you can see, sort of a middling start for Monte to begin. They are 1-1 at the moment. The win came up against Koi. It was very tightly fought, and the loss was to Zero Tenacity. And Zero Tenacity, that was a very, very close game, especially map 2. I think it went to like quad overtime or something. So
yeah,
that
was after a 10-2 comeback on the half, by the way.
That's pretty sick, yeah. So that's definitely a long matchup and one to remember. But yeah, as you say, with Sashi as well, they've kind of yet to play in the league. So it'd be very important for them to get off to a good start.
Absolutely, mate. And I mean, they've got a Monte now who, of course, have got some massive name value, but have just pieced this roster together recently. So they are fallible compared to a team like Sashi, who have been together for a long time. You go back to the espionage days for this team, and they've got a lot of history, right? So there's two completely different, contrasts there in that regard in terms of the synergy and the amount and how familiar they would be, the style of Counter-Strike that they're going to play. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that matches up.
Yeah, you mentioned the espionage roster as well. I mean, pretty sure if you add the espionage maps played to the Sashi amounts played this year, they are up there. They are up there with some of the most played in 2024. I think with like Zero Tenacity and a couple of other teams as well. For example, Zero Tenacity, of course, in this very group have played like 70 times on Anubis past 3 months. And that's during a player break. Like, that's a month without playing. They still played 70 Anubises. Unreal. Unreal. But anyway, we're focusing on these two, of course, today. And Monte and Sashi. And Monte, of course, they've had their time in the spotlight. But they're now in a rebuilding phase with some very, very well-known names, of course. I think dropping Warrior 2K was certainly a big path to move on from, of course, as he often AWP'd and often IGL'd. But of course, Hades is now taking over that exact mantle. And he tried that at the end of 9 when they were trying to sort of rebuild without Minio. Didn't really work for that team. That was kind of how that 9 roster fell apart. So can't wait really to see if Hades can continue to put some of his knowledge forth on this team.
I feel like we're having a lot of players transition into that IGL role as of late, right? Of course, Device kind of made it popular, and he's done a pretty good job of it so far. A lot of people are pressuring Nico to do it as well. Twists and Liquid is another one of those examples. Of course, this is at the higher level of the scene, but we are starting to see a bit of a transition, right? So yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm keen to see Hades and whether or not he'll be able to take on the role and actually do a good job of it while keeping his individual level up as well, because we know how much he brings to the team in the AWP department, right? And he's got some fantastic pieces to work with. As an IL, to have someone like Demka and Krasnal as some of your anchor players is just, such a luxury. So he's got the pieces for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned individual form. I think Diha's individual form was quite a big question mark toward the end of Ents. I think he has improved a little bit since then. And I think that's going to probably be one of the main factors that will help Monte push forward to the next level again. I mentioned, of course, Sticko too. I mean, he's got so much experience, so much know-how around the server. Sometimes he can, be a little bit lacking in the fragging department as well. He'll admit that himself. But yeah, so it's gonna be really curious to see how they perform as a group going forward. As I said, with only a couple of games on the board at the moment. And when you want to talk about Sashi as well, they've just come back from EWC, and of course they were one of the underdogs there. They certainly didn't embarrass themselves. They took a map off of Maus. They pushed Furia very close as well, and arguably should have won that best of one in the elimination best of one stage. And of course, what's cool about Sashi is we both casted Quez and Iceberg for years and years, of course, way back in 2020 when they were on Tricked, back in the Tricked days. So it's cool to see how far they've come.
I mean, Lucky was on that team as well, right? So we've got a lot of familiarity with those lads in particular, absolutely. And it's good to see how they've risen up the ranks. They're currently 27th in the world, Trav. Either way, let us feast on the veto. Nuke is going to be picked by Sashi. I mean, it's been a great map for them for a very long time. You go back through all the iterations of the rosters, all the orgs. Iceberg loves a Nuke pick. Anubis picked in response for Monte. The previous team liked it as well. And then Vertigo to decide. I'd imagine probably a pretty good middle ground. So I feel like we've got a decent map pool here between these two teams.
Yeah, I'd actually really love to get toward Vertigo because I feel like we see it so seldomly at the moment since the changes came through. Of course, it is played a little bit at some of the big events, but you know, with the new catwalk on the A site, on the outside of Double Stack, and of course the gap in toward Elevator as well. Yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting to see if we do get there, how that game will play out. We've got a player to watch, of course. We've already touched on it. That will be Hades. And the reason we've picked Hades, even though not just because we know him as a guy who can put up great numbers, is the IGL factor now. As I mentioned, he tried it a little bit toward the end of 9, but that was when 9 were on a downward trend. When they were trying players like Jacob, who I'm pretty sure didn't even necessarily want to play professionally long term. And that's why it was probably a little bit of a mess back then. But now this is a big opportunity for him to lead some very storied names.
Oh, absolutely, man. I mean, that's why we're going to put the spotlight on him. We know normally Hades is a known quantity, and when it comes to selecting the player to watch, you choose someone that people might not be as familiar with, or you go for a bit more of an obscure angle. Like you say, we just want to see exactly what he's going to be playing like on an individual level while he's got this extra responsibility. So we'll be keeping a close eye on you, Mr. Hades. Let's see how things are going to unfold here.
Yeah, and also, you mentioned the rankings for Sashi as well, that they actually match in the Valve rankings. I always try, now in this build up to the EU RMR invites that will be coming, of course, in the next few months, I always try and give you guys the picture of the Valve rankings right now. At the moment, Sashi are inside that top 32 they need. They're pretty comfortable in 27th, and that might change after some results, of course, that come through in the future. As for Monte, this edition of Monte, the Ryu Gizmi edition is currently in 31st, so they'd be inside. But the current edition of Monte is 41st, so they need every win they can get to get that EU RMR invite. And now our predictions, Matt. This is more of a little bit more of a 50-50 game. Usually, if we don't want to go too crazy, we'd go the same way if it was a very obvious pick. But this time, this game could absolutely go either way, and yeah, I think we've split our picks down the middle.
Yeah, we've had to, Trav. It keeps things interesting when we're on opposite sides here. So let's bring those predictions up so we can show everybody exactly where we've gone. So I've decided to go with Monte. I think, when you bring together the firepower that they have to work with and the amount of experience as well, the ceiling for this team is incredibly high. And I actually expect them to hit the ground running just because of the foundation between Krasnal and Demka. Stiko's got some familiarity with that duo as well. So it's not a completely new team. And then Hades and Diha, some Polish pieces. I think this team is going to click quickly, so I've gone with Monte.
I've gone with Sashi purely because of obviously what we've seen at EWC. They genuinely look pretty decent. I think the only question is there a bit of, I wouldn't necessarily call it jet lag, but is there sort of tiredness coming back from that event, and going back onto the server pretty much immediately? I don't know. But overall, I would favour them in terms, not just ranking, but in general with how their team plays at the moment. I think Cabby and Mister, I haven't even mentioned them really yet, and I like them quite a lot. And of course, people will always talk about Coach Hunden, right? And say what you want. We both absolutely have said what we want to say about Hunden, but there is no doubt how much impact his experience and expertise has on this team. We're going to get underway on toward Nuke, and Hades will kick off the series.
Yeah, good first kill coming through from him, but immediately overwhelmed by Mister, and that creates a number of options now for Sashi. They've been able to get Mister up in towards heaven already. I don't know if this is going to be on the radar for Monte. I mean, you'd imagine it is in the back of their minds, but there's just too much going on in the round here. It's only Stiko and Diha left remaining to try and pick up the pieces, and it's not looking too good. Diha's been dinked. Stiko will get a kill back. It's still certainly a chance in the round, but it's going to have to come through from Stiko.
He can pop up with some clutches like this, can Stiko, and actually he's repositioned quite nicely onto the top of Hut. Maybe that's a position that Quez won't be expecting. And as you can see, he did get a little bit spooked by that one. But unfortunately, it's been spotted out now, and Stiko does not have any bullets left. Mister will make sure he comes and helps out. And Sashi on a map that we know they love very, very much. This is the map they took against Mouse at EWC. They get off to the perfect start.
Which is just ridiculous. The fact that they beat Miles on Nuke speaks volumes to how good they are on the map, right? Because Miles are Nuke enjoyers. So it's not like it's a punish pick against Miles.
Exactly. Very true. Full USP round for Monte, just playing for the guns in the third. And yeah, I think obviously that pre-game went by quite fast because I enjoyed it actually, that pre-game.
Yeah.
But what I will say is that one player we haven't even mentioned once really for Monte is Demka. He would have been my player to pick if we didn't pick Hades because he's just...
Alright, looks like we're having some tech issues. I think we just throw this onto a
there we
breaker
go.
while we remedy them, and then we will be back. No, it's back to us? I don't know my
Back to
lights
us?
on. I don't know
It's
my lights
fine.
on.
It's fine. You look beautiful. It's fine. How far
I
away
don't
are
know,
you?
mate. Got to swivel to the right and then swivel to the left to switch either one on either side.
It's fine. It's fine. It happens. It happens. Yeah. Well, when we like have a little freeze like that, right? It's always like, is it me? Is it the
Yeah.
VMix? Is it the broadcast?
Nature
is
of
it the
online. Yeah.
game? But we're back in. Don't worry about it. And as you can see, thankfully for a round for that to happen, it's not not the most critical round to miss against the full eco.
Yeah. If there was one to miss, it probably was that one. And we'll even catch a good kill out of Demka. Gets an upgrade, $600 from the frag with the Mac 10. That's his second kill in the round. So a full eco for Monte and they get 3 kills. You take that every day of the week, mate. Save Galil as well, so he could even drop an AWP across to Hades here. I mean, he wouldn't get head armor, so not ideal, but might be worth it. Depends how much they prioritize the AWP on the CT side, and it doesn't look like it's going to be that much.
Yeah, at least they are going to be able to get that AWP on Hades. As you can see, dropped over by Demka, and with that Galil save, makes it very handy. And Hades, off the back of that, is very aggressive. And you know what? It works beautifully. I love seeing the AWP being aggressive toward outside red, but the problem is, if you miss a shot or your teammate support gets taken down, it can be very hard to get away. And Diha, he tried to help his comrade, but unfortunately, he got removed by Lucky, and then Lucky finds Hades as well. Krasnal does really well to find 2, and Sticko is still here. He's been spotted out, hits a tag, no more than that. Lucky gets a quad kill with the rifle, and he might even get a free AWP in time as well. Oh, press E, brother.
Quiz, hello? Question mark?
Has he been CS2'd?
I don't know, man. T-Rex arms, maybe. What I will say is Monte invested a lot towards outside in that round there to try and take the fight to Sashi, try and close the gap and look for early kills, and they give Hades a lot of support, right? They're trying to bail Hades out of that position when he wants to fall back, so they're taking more gunfights, but they just keep losing those gunfights, and eventually Sashi have just torn them apart outside. Hades does have another AWP here once again. It's a hero gun in the round. So if there's any chance for Monte, it's going to have to come through Hades. We've spoken about how strong Nuke is of a map for Sashi, and historically not a great map for Monte, right? They played it once with this new roster. They lost it against Movistar Koi 13-5. And before that, with the previous roster as well, it wasn't great. The only win, well, inadvertently, came against Sashi back in May, 16-13. But it's just been losses outside of that, Trav.
Yeah, exactly.
So Nuke's actually a great pick here for Sashi into Monte in particular.
Probably, it's what's crazy about it as well. Is that it's a map that, you know, I've watched the likes, as I said, of Iceberg and Quez. You know, that sort of duo been playing together for a very long time. Every now and then on and off, of course, when the roster changes have come through, and perhaps situations like org changes too. Oh, hang on a moment. I'll get to that point in a second, because Hades is still here. He's found 2 with the AWP towards single door, and Krasnal has pounced with the MP9. This round has spiraled. I was just talking about, you know, we've watched Iceberg and Quest for so many years on Tricked, even playing their trade in ESL Advanced back in the day, of course, the league behind this one. And Cabby, He has to try and bail out his teammates now in this round. He's kind of stuck in the smoke at the moment, but he has managed to traverse his way through single door silently as well. And I think this might be a bit of a mini masterclass from Cabby coming in here. He's parred this one really well. Hades is going to give it a look, though. The internal clock of Hades. He knows what's going on. What a triple. And the first round for Monte is on the board.
That game sense is insane, though, man, because almost everybody would just expect Cabby to go on a decon and then just try and play the post plant from decon. But Hades thinks, I'm just going to check back and see if he is actually flanking around. It's a no-scope to get the kill as well. Cabby can't believe his eyes. And Monte get themselves on the board through the way of the half-eye. That hero AWP absolutely does its job. 3 kills coming through from Hades. And now Sashi have to empty their pockets.
Yeah, all the bonus money that Hades had, right, really made a big difference. Of course, in that gun round before that they lost, he still had 3k in the bank, right? So it's having that little bit of extra residual funds can provide a weapon like that at a timing that maybe Sashi weren't expecting, and it's a big round for Monte to find. Ooh. So gets away with it. Down towards Secret with the Mac 10.
Well, they've got so much control, and Monte aren't really aware of it either. Nobody making their way down towards that lower bomb site. It's only Stiko who's at ramp right now, so he's a bit reluctant to even drop down in the first place. And Sashi are about to just waltz into this completely vacant site.
And they may have a couple of kits and some okay util, but it's going to be quite a long rotation. Big Stiko, his first point of contact, unfortunately he's smoked off. He has an HE to use to try and maybe catch one. He goes for it and he takes it, and he's got help directly behind him. That rotation coming in from Hell. Diha makes sure they get a 2-for-1 in that situation, but Mister with the Deagle being an absolute nuisance managed to take Demka, and they're flying up the vents toward Krasnal. Krasnal has a chance to deliver, but now it has to be Hades. He finds one again, and I think he knows what's going on directly below him as well. Plant will come through from Quez. Mister, doesn't know who to shoot at, but now they've isolated Mister behind the box. And Hades and Diha, the Polish duo, once again, team up.
Yeah, they recognized the window of opportunity there, right? Because they knew with the player planting the bomb, they'd have a 2 versus 1 for a brief moment. So they don't hesitate, they don't hold back, they push forward, and Hades was spoilt for choice there, but he does still take down the player that was planting the bomb, and Diha covers his captain. So Monte have got the ball rolling now here on Nuke. Broken that T-side economy and, yeah, string some consecutive rounds together. So now it's about keeping numbers alive.
Indeed. Once again, Hades showing up. He mentioned he was our player to watch. He's keeping an eye on the individual level and the calls, of course. And right now, he's had huge impact with his weapon of choice as well. It is cool to see him and Diha playing together and teaming up together and putting in some good teamwork to recover a couple of these situations. But this time, unlucky for Diha, he gets domed by Lucky. Lucky toward outside has been pretty sharp so far today.
Yeah, it's a good point. Certainly a player to keep an eye on the side of Sashi. He's been so consistent lately. Certainly a massive factor in their success they've seen in the past 3 to 6 months. Now we're going to see them try and take the fight towards outside. Hades has got so many players swinging to fight him right now. In fact, 4 of them just force the issue. His head's been taken off, and that's going to create a lot of space for Sashi now. And Monte have decided to stack up the defense towards Secret. There's 2 players here. That's exactly where Sashi are headed. And Krasnal locks down the first, sends in packing, but he's not going to let them get away. Cost him his life, though.
And as you can see,
why was he pushing?
Exactly. Yeah. Look at Mister and Cabby, literally hand in hand on the X-ray there. They are like, okay, well, there's only one reason why he would have pushed, because there must be another player coming to try and flank us, and that's exactly what they predict. Sashi have played enough Nuke to realise that could be a possibility, and now Demka needs to clutch. Lucky's found that AWP, of course, as well. In the vent is Demka. It's been very important for him to make his way up on that timing, and oh my word, a tag comes through from Lucky, and Cabby just unceremoniously puts him down. 3 kills for Cabby. showing up when it matters most, and the Deagle's really sung for Sashi.
God, massive Deagle kills coming through from Cabby there. What a triple kill out of him, man. The Star Rifler on the side of Sashi shows he can do the damage with Deag as well. And that's going to rattle Monte. They're not going to have an AWP here. A couple SMGs to plug the gaps. That's a really rough round for Monte to lose. It was a chance to level up the scoreline, right? And put some pressure on Sashi, but all that pressure's just been released now. And Sashi can really pull ahead. You win this 5-2, then you get a big advantage in the economic game as well.
Indeed. Poor timing. Iceberg just didn't check toward Garage at that particular moment, and he gets taken down. Hades makes sure that it's a 2-for-1. I see quite a lot of you guys asking in chat right now why the Koi and Eyeballers game was postponed. I will actually see if I can find that information for you, because I might have some ways to figure it out.
Okay, all right. I see you got some insider information. Share your sources next time, Trav.
It's just the
Secret
Discord we're in.
source.
It's all good.
Ah, damn. All right, that's pretty boring. Either way, not a boring round here. Mr. is low man advantage for Monte as well. A chance for them to kind of remedy the situation after losing to the Eco before this. Looks like. Do they just try and walk down secret here and head in towards the B bomb site? They're looking for a fight on the cross. They found one. Hades is dead. Demka to recover. I mean, it's not a bad transfer. Finds a frag and does significant damage, and Stiko's in the perfect position with this MP9. 18 health between two players. Oh, he's going to just chew them up here. Try and drop the smoke on the site to at least get the plant, but no, not even. Both left him, so Stiko cleans up. Does he?
Does
he?
he?
He should. He will. There we go.
There we go. It took an extra second, but no worries. So yeah, I can confirm that the reason Koi versus Eyeballers has been postponed is that Eyeballers have a conflicting event, and that game will be played at a later date, just so you guys know. And yeah, important round win for Monte to stay in touch, especially after they've been caught by the pistols. Around they would have been frustrated to lose. Good recovery once again from Sticko. Of course, damage has been significant over the last few rounds though, so there's no Hades AWP again.
Yeah, this game's back and forth, man. Neither team's really been able to put serious pressure on their opponent when they've gotten that opportunity. And it's just going to be a charge coming through from Iceberg with that Tech 9. He wants to force his gunfights on his opposite number, at least in terms of the IGL. And it's going to be Hades who comes out on top, pistol on pistol to finish it off. Troops are going to follow suit though and file into position. Still a couple players in secret, and Quest has alleviated the pressure a little bit. Hades is forced backwards, but he's dead.
Needs to be Sticko. What a frag that is from Quez. I think Sticko clearly wanted to get one and then hide behind the silo again to wait for his teammates' rotations, but Quez just, yeah, domed him with the MP9. Didn't allow him to get away whatsoever. All 3 kills for Quez in this round, but no more. It's going to be down to Lucky, and now it's a 1v1. 20 HP versus 8. Lucky will reposition silently to the rafters directly above Krasnal. I don't think Krasnal is predicting this one. Freest of 3 kills for Lucky. He makes it a headshot to boot. 8 on the board already, and he will now join his 3 other teammates on 8 kills. It's a great team performance to start this series from Sashi.
And Iceberg is 1 for 8. Guess who the IGL is, guys? No points for getting it right. But still, a really well-played 1v1 there from Lucky, just changing up his position, you know, going aerial, getting up on top of the rafters, was never going to be anticipated there by Krasnal. And he's able to close out the 1v1 with ease. And they send Monte back into force fight territory, evidently where they do some of their best work, but they're still on the brink. That's a problem for Monte. If you lose this round, then the half is gotten away from you in a big way.
Yeah.
Quez was also massive in that round. I mean, after he got 3 kills, and he also dinked Krasnal in that last gunfight.
Yep. I am a Quez enjoyer. There'll be a lot of people who maybe will only, you know, pay attention to some of the biggest tournaments around the year and perhaps saw Quez for the very first time at EWC. But he actually plays on CT side. You might see it take a lot of the tough positions. Might need to do some work here as well, though. Is it only on 10 HP? He's found 2. And the rotation from Monte Heaven is very, very quick. In comes the information, and Quezi will go down to the 5-7 first. Sticko, Mister was low as well. Lucky's going to have to do it again. Now, both are incredibly low, but he's been tagged himself. Dink down. And now Sticko and Diha will decide exactly what to do. Lucky knows what's happening, though. The double swing he knew was imminent. And now, 12 HP versus 21. It's a very similar air to the previous round. He tries to phase through the smoke. Not allowed to. Diha gets a cheeky one.
Well, it was actually the perfect play. The problem is that that smoke didn't have enough life left in it. The mini smoke had actually faded as he traversed into it. If there was still life in that mini smoke, you know, an extra 5 seconds, Lucky wins that clutch every single day of the week. I fully believe that. Yeah. It's just because it fades and he becomes exposed, and Diha gets the kill because he's out in the open. Great attempt from Lucky. Effort goes in vain. Force buy from Monte is successful again. And we just continue to go back and forth here between these two teams. I keep trying to make some points because I think it's a round that's a lower econ round that maybe won't get out of hand, but it keeps going the unlikely way. Yeah, all I really wanted to say was the fact that Quez is, as I say, we're Quez enjoyers, and lots of people who maybe don't pay attention to some of the sort of lower teams that's just on the bubble or the top 30 and slightly below. Won't know how much he's played over the years and how much he's plied his trade and tricks, like I've said, and all the ESEA leagues. I think he's made his way up from the very top to the, or the very bottom to the very top, I should say. And as I said, he plays quite a lot of the tough positions, at least to my knowledge, on CT side, like Bianca, Vertigo, just as an example. Maybe we'll see that if we do get to Vertigo at the end of this series. Look at the buy for Sashi. Yeah, it doesn't look fantastic, and this is sort of an opportunity that Monte have had, I think, like at least twice so far in the half, and that's to put pressure on Sashi by beating out their force buy. They haven't been able to do it just yet, and they might struggle again. Great double kill from Stiko. Does somewhat salvage the situation. Hades will try and slot into position, but he's been traded out as well. Fantastic trading from Sashi, and that's going to get them full control of this B bomb site. The plant will come through as well, and Monte have to make the retake happen without a kit at that as well. Another close 2v2, another close round where damage has been done and Monte need to find a way, but look at all that utility on Monte. Krasnal and Demka will realise it. They've played together long enough to know how to use this in this sort of situation, trying to play off the back of each other, trying to hold each other's hands. And Lucky's playing, I was going to say playing a nice angle, but Krasnal runs him down nicely. Now it's Iceberg. He's trying to guess the lineup, but Krasnal will immediately put him down. And he's got enough time for that defuse. We're back even again at 5 apiece. And that is the round finally that Monte have been hunting for, because now they've broken that T-side economy. Sashi will have to settle for a save, and Monte can just get themselves into the lead here, nip themselves a little 6-5 scoreline, cheeky 1-round lead. And then Sashi could still play for that 6-all scoreline, you know, in the last round of the half buy up then, instead of going for a force now again. Yeah, that would just be a bit too much. I wonder if some of the Monte... Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, mate. No, this is your turn. My turn? Okay. I just wanted to say that I wonder how the vibes are going to be in this Monte team in general, right? Because when Borrow 2K was on the team, just going by some of the situations we've seen at Pro League, for example, when he was just straight up arguing with Krasnal live in the map, I wonder if things are like 10 times better already, or if they still have to work on it. Yeah, I'd imagine, like, you could tell from someone like Hades, he's a... You know, he's got some good energy about him. Good humor. Brings some good spirit to the team. Yeah, good humor, right? So I think he'll bring some important energy in that regard as an IGL complete change-up. You know, someone like Stiko is all about the synergy in the team as well, and building the team, making sure everybody feels valued and supported, Trav, because that's important. And I think Diha's a pretty light-hearted guy as well. So I don't really see where any negative energy could be coming from, unless, you know, maybe Krasnal and Demka, we can't completely absolve them. Yeah, I think it must be a lot better, right? This round I'm not sure will be a lot better, though. Actually, it's a kind of an interesting one, because Monte, they're kind of fed up at being, you know, struck down by these Mac 10s and the pistols. They tried to fight fire with fire that time. As you can see, pushing toward outside, if you remember how Cabby got his one kill, just doming Demka on the side of the smoke, I believe. And again, these 1-digs are proving to be very dangerous. 30 seconds, Sashi walking as a trio down toward the B site. Krasnal just giving it a glance, waiting for that glass to be broken. If he is seen, then he'll know he can play time, or maybe try and get a cheeky kill before
his teammates come and help. 17 seconds. I wonder if he's going to try and deny a plant as well, but no. He's going to stay silent, and that works out for a freebie on toward Mister. The plant denying that doesn't really matter. No real risk.
Yeah, it's an eco round anyway. So
exactly.
They're going to be buying up next round as is. Just make sure you lock it in. And he's guaranteed at least a kill. Still going to try and find a way to break down this crossfire. They know exactly where both of these remaining players are. Quez with the Desert Eagle. One more bullet will get the job done, but it's Krasnol's one bullet. That is a headshot connection. And Monte will get the lead coming into this round. It's exactly what we expected. It certainly was a scratchy one, but they've got their noses in front. And that's actually the point I was going to make, Trav, when we so kindly interrupted each other. And it's that Monte just have to scrap themselves here together on Nuke. We're not expecting anything pretty. We're not expecting a dominant performance at all. We just want to see something competitive, and it doesn't matter how these rounds come. But they've got a round lead at the moment against Sashi on Nuke, so yeah, that's what it's all about.
As we've discussed as well, as a Sashi that love this map, adore this map, played it for years and years and years as the core, and of course put it to good effect against Maus, of course, as we saw recently. So
yeah.
Let's go a little bit further into it. A bit of a poor half by his standards. Oh, this is going to be a tough one for Hades to get out of now. I don't know how he's been allowed to get away from that actually, but the push toward trophy doesn't work for Monte, and look at this round, it's spiraling now.
I was going to say, I think Lucky had the bit between his teeth there, and he should have kept forcing the issue, but then they just get 4 kills, well, I guess 3 kills elsewhere off the bat, and it's only Hades left alive. So Lucky, you know, with a little bit of discipline there, probably makes the correct play. And Hades has to make a fantastic play. Neat little second kill coming through from him. The problem is, he's got 18 health, no kit, no chance, right, Trav? This would be the clutch of the century.
This is not happening, Matt. Don't worry about it. Even if he was full health, this is not happening. Don't kill yourself with the nade, Hades. There we go. He avoids that, but he doesn't avoid Cabby. We're locked together. 6-6. See you in a few minutes.
After a back and forth affair, the first half ends level between Sashi and Monte. Monte now on the T side of their opponent's map. They certainly have their work cut out for them, Trav, but they're looking scrappy right now. They're piecing it together. They're forcing Sashi and putting a lot of pressure on them as well. So there's no reason they can't make this happen, and they'd love to win the pistol round to set things in motion.
I think force would be the optimum word in that half. So many force buys and half buys were won by both teams, and the Sashi Deagles were absolutely disgusting. Monte will try and make their way in towards Secret. Unfortunately, Hades, he tries to fight and gets caught off. Iceberg very low from his initial piece of contact that he took as well. So Iceberg, he's in this position. He is ready in case they decide to fly up the vents toward A again. It is an option for Monte in this situation, but they might be going into their death if they don't play it correctly.
Just biding their time, maybe giving the players towards the top side of the map a little bit more time to play with. No, they're just going to go straight up the vents, but Iceberg was ready for it, waiting with the Julies. Oh my goodness, 2 sets of Julies, 4 frags found between the two of them. The captain gets 3, and that's going to be the perfect start to the second half here for Sashi. They had a great read on that.
Yeah, I said that, you know, Monte might decide to fly up the vents and go back toward A. I didn't think they'd actually play it exactly like that. I didn't think that Sticko would try and show the bomb, right? I think that was absolutely his plan. He wanted to show the C4 towards single door, make the Sashi player see it on the minimap, and then change his mind and go up toward the A site. But Iceberg, even though he's 13 HP, didn't even need that, to be honest. He could have been 1 and still got those 3 kills. Yummy.
Now Lucky just gets to farm. Yeah, exactly. Eat that up every day of the week. He takes seconds and thirds. Racks up the cash for that AWP. And this gun round actually carries a lot of weight for Monte. I mean, remember, both teams have been within arm's reach of each other throughout the entirety of this map so far. So if Sashi win this gun round 9-6, they then get an anti-eco 10-6 on their pick of nuke. That's going to be a very difficult position for Monte to reconcile. So I feel like they actually have to win this gun round.
Yeah, that's an important one. Quick reminder as well, obviously the new people are coming in chat all the time. I can repeat myself. Eyeballers have a schedule conflict. That is why Eyeballers and Koi are not playing today. They'll be rescheduling their match for another day. We've got a banger on the main stream, and that's all that matters at the moment. Look at the default standoff right now for both these two. Waiting outside, waiting lobby, waiting silo. Actually not giving Monte anything.
Yeah, just waiting, forcing Monte to make that move, as you say. And Monte, as we breach that minute mark, will start to make some moves. Most of their players towards outside, and Cabby is looking to try and find a fight as well. He finds a lot more than just a fight. He's lost his head. 40 seconds on the clock. Monte still just looking to try and work their way around the map here before they make any commitments. Eventually, it's going to be an A crunch. That's exactly why Sashi are looking to make a move of their own, and Demka's been caught off guard. That is uncharacteristic.
Maybe
I think
characteristic.
they try to go ramp now.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe characteristic of the game that Demka's having at the moment, though. Or Quez, MP9. You saw 2 kills there coming a mile off, didn't you? He's so good in those situations. Sticker only gets a 1-for-1, though. And now more information for Krasnal, so he realizes what's going on. He's got a plant. Gets it down with 9 seconds to spare. And now he's got a 1v2 to play out. Krasnal's improvement from CSGO to CS2 was very, very notable. He's fallen off a little bit of that form that we saw from him as of late. And this of course has a defuse kit. Krasnal's going to have to hit 2 clean shots. Look at where the bomb was being defused as well there by Mister. He was tucking himself as close to the wall as possible, making himself as hard to see as possible, so his teammate could cover him. And lucky, he's having a superb game right now.
Yeah, he is, man. He's the lifeblood of the fragging in Sashi. He's certainly elevated his game multiple percentiles over the past, 12 months. He's actually just looking better and better, and very consistent and stable at this level as well. Decision-making time now for Monte. Probably just going to settle for half buy here and then buy in the next. You need that util on the T side, just no two ways about it. And they can afford to just sort of half buy here and get quite a lot, so can't discount this round entirely.
I think one of the things that puts Sashi maybe a slight cut above on a map like this is some of those strategies we saw from them. Sure, they were helped out by them hitting some nutty 1-digs, right? That always helps. Never goes amiss. But they have strategies for like every type of round and every type of situation,
Yes.
right? I mean, like some of the calls they made when they had
Protocols
those low
for days.
exactly, like those protocols they had when they had those low econ rounds. One of the ones where they had I think it was a 3v3 and they just walked together in such good team play. Just one very small example. Look at Cabby as well. The timing could be really good for him. Instant headshot. Can he get away? He's trying to. Diha, he doesn't want to get away. He wants to fight. And Diha will punish him for that.
Important kill coming through there. AK for Diha doing work. It's a hero AK in the round, and Lucky's desperately trying to remove it from the round, but he overcommits, and Diha punishes him. Okay, that certainly does make things interesting. Man advantage for Monte. And they've got some firepower to work with as well. And Sashi have no idea what's going on right now.
Ugh.
Iceberg's lucky to have a head.
Hopefully he's not going to start melting under the pressure. That's kind of what global warming's doing at the moment. Hopefully he's not affected. Hopefully he's one of those deep icebergs, you know, one of the blue ice ones that never get, never melts.
Super far
The
north as well.
permafrost. The permafrost,
There we
whatever
go.
they call it, yeah. Mister, what can he do? Mister on the default A silo. Already removed Z. Yeah, that is the main hero of the round gone. And Sticko has managed to find the M4 as well, of course. So, it's 30 versus 3, 30 seconds. And
Oh,
Hades
big
being
kill.
very, very patient. Sticko will now lurk his way through. Iceberg is desperately trying to work his way up the vent, but it's being glanced at by Hades. That's a freebie. And Quez is not close enough.
Alright, well, game on. Monte able to make this eco round work. I'm not even going to call it a half buy. Maybe I should, but still, that AK on Diha does some fantastic work. I think Sashi just overcommits to some of the fights. They maybe get a little bit ahead of themselves, especially Lucky towards outside. I definitely understand what he was doing. He knew he kind of had Diha trapped outside, right? And he could force the fight, but he peeked before his AWP had completely reset. So for that brief moment, he couldn't actually even fire off the shot. And he was just out in the open. So he just overcommitted there a little bit.
Yeah. Quez only just survives there toward back box on ramp. I think actually he might be slightly surprised that he got taken down to 6 HP there. Of course, bomb radiuses are a bit mean these days, especially on Nuke and Ancient, for example. I think I've seen a number of teams and players actually get caught off guard by that little bit. For example, saving in the corner of the stairs on Secret when the bomb's planted on B and you maybe got like 40 health or something left, and I think I saw Saw get caught off by that a number of times. A couple of their players just dying to the bomb, not far enough away. Hard one to predict sometimes. There will be some people that know their numbers off by heart though, obviously.
Yeah, like Robs.
Of course.
But for the average gamer, it's just one of those things. You just start saying your prayer just before the bomb goes off, really, and hope that you make it. Either way, looking at Sashi, this losing to that eco round has actually done a huge amount of damage to their lead here. Now they're going to have to settle for a save. They've got a little bit of firepower that AK carried through and an M4 invested into as well. But great chance for Monte to reduce that gap to just one round.
Sticko just about gets away with that push by Iceberg. Only 5 HP to spare though. I'm not sure if Sticko's the kind of person who'd maybe want to take the AWP in a scenario like this. Obviously we see the Bogdan rule, the classic.
He might be the exception, right?
Yeah, I think Sticko doesn't seem like the guy who'd probably want to kind of take it in this situation. And they're too far away anyway to switch it. Either way, as you can see, with Sticko top solo and Hades directly below him, even if Hades was the best shot put player in the world, he wouldn't be able to throw the AWP up that high. Demka, nice catch. Manages to deal with Lucky as well. And this eco is being sorted out. Mister will try and fall away and try and at least keep this M4 to the next round, but he could be swarmed. He's been spotted out as well, which won't help. Already there's a close outside player pushing him down. Is he ready for it? He is not, and in the end he gets caught by Hades and not by D-Hurt. And that is the gap back down to 1 again.
Doesn't get better than that for Monte. The numbers that they keep alive make it look really good. So they get a little bit of a buffer and they continue to just keep themselves in the conversation. They continue to chip away at Sashi here on Nuke. Sashi's best map by some distance. And if they can win this round here, Trav, then we're really cooking for Monte. So it's game on as things stand.
Oh, wow. The nade broken. The smoke there toward outside. D had tried to force his way forward. He gets stopped by not just the nade, but then the AWP as well, as the vision was shown. Too lucky. He's try and respond, and you know what? Whatever you can do, I can do as well. What a lovely pick to take. Cabby goes down. That's Counter-Strike 2 for you.
Good control now. Sashi have to make a move. It's why they start to make their way through Hut into lobby, and Quez is rotated down as well. But Monte have numbers. 4 players just grouped up and moving their way forward as a unit here. Quez has his work cut out for him. I mean, just one with the MP9 is the bare minimum. It's going to be Stiko who walks into the angle, and Quez does clear him out. He's going to do a significant amount of damage to Demka as well. Eventually, he does get traded. Game on, 3 versus 3. Monte get full side control. Bomb plant going to follow suit, and I'm backing them here in the post plant, assuming they don't lose any players before they activate the bomb. It's going to be a very tough retake here for Sashi.
Yeah, I'm wondering, even though they are together 3 in ramp, as you can see, it looks like they're having the conversation now. We haven't got a kit, boys. I think we need to move away. That's exactly what they're doing. Monte have found their way through. And it's going to be 9 rounds apiece. This is exactly what I wanted to see from this game. I'm so glad we're getting a competitive matchup, because I built this one up in my mind, you know, the night before when I was reading about the game and stuff like that, right? It was definitely read well on paper, and so far playing out well on the server too.
That's exactly what we were hoping for between these two teams. It's Sashi's first game here in ESL Challenger League Season 48, and Group B is ridiculously stacked as well. So every game is of utmost importance. Monte have played 2 games already. They've won 1 and lost 1. Losing to 0 tenacity, but beating out Movistar Koi. What does Sashi do here? Are they just going to keep their economy level and guarantee a buy in the next? It's probably the most sensible choice.
Not had the best of games. He's been the first man out. He might feel a little bit sold there. He was out quite a bit of a gap between him and the rest of his teammates. Mist will take some damage falling down toward the site. And unfortunately for Monte, bomb is on the site. And look at Sashi. Yeah. They have swarmed it.
They're all here. They even have just overcommitted a little bit, leaving some space towards ramp, because they could get flanked through heaven. Might even be an idea to try boost somebody up on top of the rafters. But they have locked that bomb down. And it's a recovery mission at this point. And I tell you what, if Monte do get in a position where they can pick up the bomb, they're going to have killed everybody to win the round anyway. So it's not even about trying to plant the bomb from here.
Of course, Stiko, in this sort of position, has to assume that kind of every single thing is being watched. And it is. It's maybe not via the positions that he is expecting himself. Hayes is trying just to find something, trying to just scope into the site on a timing, but unfortunately I think his timing could not have been worse. Quez is holding a bit of a duck angle, and look at Sashi, they're just looking to fight here. Why not? Fair play. Take the initiative. Go in together toward lobby. It's a lobby crunch with 25 seconds to go, and it removes the last few members of Monte.
I'm not going to lie, it does make me nervous because they had the bomb in their control on the A-bomb site, but I think what they're thinking is that, well, these guys' huts aren't really making a move, so they must be waiting for somebody else on the map to be trying to get in position, right, which was Tico. So they're like, let's just disrupt the setup completely. Let's not give them that time and space to do what they want to do to try and get the bomb. Let's force the issue and get in their faces, and they hit some neat shots there to get the kills and regain the lead. Good work out of Sashi.
Boosted on the box, credit card. Oh, that's just so annoying for Hades.
Couldn't even see Lucky.
Couldn't even see Lucky. I'm pretty sure all Lucky would have been able to see would either have been a gun barrel or maybe like a wrist. And unfortunately, a wrist is enough to take a kill.
It's one of those perfect examples where the further away you are from the angle, the more you get to see. And so Lucky has a better field of vision than Hades does. He pivots across towards ramp, able to find the first, stopping them from crossing as well. He's just hitting everything that steps in his scope right now. Everything that appears on his screen is as good as dead. That
was clean from Lucky. That is just textbook ramp warping as well, especially textbook ramp warping when you don't have a rifler or playing close, right? He takes one angle, takes it, moves to the close box angle. That's where he can most obviously be peeked from next. And then once he takes that kill, then he falls back and plays defensively because there's no reason to go in for anything more. Look at Iceberg position as well, holding such an annoying angle for Demka. And Sashi are now starting to pull away.
Hey, you look at the money for the T side, it's looking bleak. I think that they're going to have to save here and try play for overtime. Sashi have a great opportunity to basically bury Monte at this point. And they've got a $2,400 round loss bonus. It's definitely enough to get a full buy in the next if they eco here, but it doesn't look like that's what they want to do. They're going to spend all their money, and I have a feeling we're going to see something punchy here in this round from Monte. They haven't gone for that all-out super fast A hit. I mean, they tried it once, it was a bit disconnected, so let's see if they're going to try run it back here. Wall of smokes outside, that's just to pull the attention away. Where do they go from here, Trav?
This is the round. As you said, they've been kind of snookered a little bit. But Sashi kind of will know what's coming. Possible double pump toward A. Iceberg is ready. What can you get done? Hope he doesn't play anti for too long. It's going to be very awkward when it's like that. And there we go. As you can see, Demka finds it. It's a big kill from Demka with the quiet game he's been having. 4 versus 3. Tracers spotted. Dia takes that one. And they're gone.
That is ridiculous. I can't believe how quickly that falls apart there for Monte. Excuse me, for Sashi. Monte on the exec just looked fantastic. As you say, Iceberg playing anti-flash, maybe just overcommits to the play. And then the guys just streaming out of hut are able to find the kills. Lucky also missed a key shot there, to be fair. As much as we've been hyping him up, gonna have to highlight that.
Very true. Hades is also looking for one of these two saving players, Lucky and Quez, but he knows that late stage of the game, it's very important. Keeping 4 players alive might just secure their future funds for most of the rest of regulation. Again, stopped on a round you wouldn't expect a team to be stopped on, but that just kind of shows you the level of these two teams individually when it comes to just pure aim.
I mean, it's been the theme throughout this match so far, throughout this map at least, that it's just been completely back and forth. I don't think any one team's had more than like a 2-round lead. Well, okay, there was a 9-6 scoreline in favor of Sashi at one point, but certainly not more than a 3-round lead throughout this map so far. Monte just going to run it back here. Worked out very well last round.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And sometimes this sort of strategy can certainly catch out a CT side. Mister's in a nice position this time. It depends if he gets caught by a flash while they try and make their way out. And that is exactly what happens. But he still finds 2. There's a lot more solid. Cabby on the off angle though gets removed by Krasnal.
Oh!
And Krasnal's here to play. That's the Krasnal we know and love. You could even make it 4. Lucky just about hops away from it. But in comes Quez. He's in towards Squeaky. They didn't realise that kill was coming in from. And Quez is dancing with the angle. Finally, he gets pushed by Hades. And he sprays the smoke on the transfer. It's 11-all.
What a combination there between Krasnal and Hades, man. My God, great stuff on the entries coming through from Krasnal. It was looking like that round was dead in the water for Monte at one point, but Krasnal just tears the defense wide open. A massive multi-kill from him, kills in quick succession as well. And then Hades, well, I wouldn't say he polishes it off, but he certainly does finish things off.
What a round. What a round. I actually thought for a second it was going to completely fall apart there for Monte because Quez flew up the vents on a really nice timing, didn't he?
Yeah.
And as we saw, Krasnal seemed kind of confused where to look at next. Do we look at vent? Do we look at hut? Has he gone through Squeaky immediately to come through hut very quickly? Even though he somehow managed to stay alive, thankfully it was Hades who pounced just as Quez took out Util.
Okay, well, no money left in the bank for Sashi if they lose this round, and Monte would get themselves up to map point. Winner of this round gets themselves to map point.
Yeah.
This game is the gift that just continues to give, and I don't think this is going to end in 24 rounds either, Trav. The pattern certainly does not suggest as much.
It doesn't, but you've said it now, so we'll see. Still, though, nice. Monte certainly has the economic advantage, as you say, as well. They can still buy in the next round, which is the big thing, as you've mentioned. So, here's an early 1-for-1. Hades got his. Lucky got his. The battle of the Orps between these two has been pretty tasty, but Sticko has managed to remove him. Look at Quez there again. I mentioned he's so good in these anchor positions. He's going to try and pounce, but he doesn't perhaps get the angle he wanted. And Missa only gets one. It's Iceberg 1v3. He's been spotted out. MP9 at range. Very difficult to get the kill. He still manages to find it. But in the end, even though he switched to the M4, Krasnal takes the kill. And actually, that was a really important one to hit for Krasnal. Because look how far away Sticko was. So, there is Monte. They've recovered. And they get the first series, or first map point, I should say.
Yeah, and they've only had the lead once in the game preceding this. That was at the 6-5 scoreline where they got their noses in front in the first half. And now they've got their noses in front here once again. But this is when it matters the most. And look at the investment for Sashi, or should I say lack thereof. The scouts on lucky MP9s and M4. No kits. Util is light. This has been a grind and a half from Monte. A fantastic display on their T side so far. You got to commend Hades calling. It certainly has been great in these rounds. And they're now on the brink.
Yeah, the Hades IGL arc, as we said, we saw it a tiny bit toward the end of that 9 roster when they were fiddling with the team, when they dropped Minio, took Jacob for a while. But I don't think that was ever really going to work long term, and it didn't, and they all moved on. Hades given an opportunity with what is obviously a very, very nice team around him. They have an opportunity to take map 1 here. Of course, Sashi, this is their first game in ECL this season. Monte have played a couple already. 1 loss to Zero Tenacity, 1 win versus Koi. Lucky they want to kill. Look at the top angle from Cabby as well. It might be good for 2. It is good for 2.
Oh,
and Matthew, I think you may be right. Another kill from Cabby. And it's down to Demka.
Yeah, wonderful stuff there from Cabby, just holding down the line by himself. He didn't move a muscle, just crosshair posted up on the angle. They run in his direction and he just mows them down. Almost single-handedly wins around for his team. I mean, 1 kill comes through from Lucky Scouts as well. You can't discount that, but there we go. Overtime locked in. I mean, I feel like Sashi deserve OT. They've been so good throughout the map. They've had the lead for pretty much the entirety of the map. And they did kind of squander it towards the end. Monte have fought hard, and previous 24 rounds now mean nothing. Into OT1 we go.
Yeah. You know what? I couldn't really have seen this map having any other ending, so I completely agree with you, to be honest. I'm glad we've got here, though. Makes the game ever more exciting.
Yeah, especially got to make up for yesterday, right? Where Bateris got absolutely battered by 9 Pandas.
Well, they did look a bit botty, but come on.
Yeah, fair enough. Battered sounds better. Probably a bit more polite as well. Not much more, but a bit more.
I know. I jest. If there's
I
a
would
better
never say botted, Trav. That's not me.
No,
Sheesh.
I know. If there's a better player watching this game, then that was a joke, and I apologise.
Never apologize, Trav.
Never apologise for the truth. Krasnal, look what he's doing
Lucky
right
is
now.
Dead. That is the truth. He's
Surely.
completely worked his way through ramp, but he's gone up heaven. Okay, it's not the end of the world because I was able to get the kill onto Cabby. And he does unlock the A bomb site to a degree. The problem is the molly means he can't push forward. And Lucky outside has taken down the Heaven player, so at least that alleviates the pressure to a degree for the CT side. Iceberg should be traded, and he is somehow on the flick pretty much. They're able to land a dink, and now it's all on Mister. They should know he's the A anchor though, right? They have to have that in the back of their minds.
Well, now they know. Now they know. Can they get down the vent though? They are kind of lined up together here. Hades will manage to escape, and Sticker has to stick around, and he'll get caught. Bit messy there, and your reaction tells it all. It's now a clean 1 versus 1. Hades 100 health, Mister 100 health. Mister has a kit, obviously, in overtime. If he didn't, I'd be berating him. A smoke, flash, and nade. And Hades is playing in single door. Ooh, he's got an opportunity to go through the glass as well. It's not broken. They'll drop down and they'll smoke single. Hades will go for the peak first, but he can't connect with it. And Mister has found an all-important clutch.
Monte fumbled the bag there in that round 3 versus 1. They should have known Mister's that A anchor. You can kind of see they freeze for a moment, and then they're like, let's try go down the vent. They could have fallen back through Squeaky. And Mister, mad props to him, because he's the one who's fighting there to stop them from being able to get down the vent. That's why he's not just sitting back behind Silo and trying to play a passive game there. He knows he has to extend forward. He has to close that angle down, and he then isolates the 2 players. One gets down, one doesn't. He hunts down the player Squeaky, and then closes out the 1v1 afterwards to regain the lead for Sashi.
That round was kind of littered with mistakes for Monte. It wasn't just all that you just described. It was the fact that when Krasnal made his way up toward Heaven, right? That little right-click molly that meant to go toward default blocked him off a little bit. Caught the edge of the Heaven area, so it's very frustrating. Just small things like that can cause losses in these sort of games. Oh, Cabby. I'm not sure a CT player on Sashi, actually, or Monte, has done that the entire game. And to be fair to Krasnal, what on earth would you expect it at that timing? What a play to make from Cabby.
Especially when the game is as tense as it is right now. Alright, well. Where to from here from Monte? It looks like they're just going to reassess the situation. Numbers outside. It's Mister who's here posted on the angle. And they're coming his way, Trav.
Oh, I'm kind of upset Mister's moved away. Obviously, he's not to know that they're on the other angle, but this is a huge shadow advantage in that position. And now he just about gets down the vents safely. What a weird position to be in. Lucky's just trying to reverse his way back toward behind the silos right now, and he still gets himself that one toward Demka. But Sticko is always going to be further up than he expected. A few bullets into that smoke in front of the vents. It wards Mister back down it again, and they'll feel comfortable enough to go for this plant. But look at this double retake through the lobby and hut area, with Mister just waiting to get himself out of those vents in this 3 versus 3. Of course, there are kits in play. Only 1 HE and 1 flash, though. They're going to go double door instead. Sticko's looking clean with it, though. There's 1 headshot, but it's only the 1. 2v2. D here still toward Heaven. It's a very powerful after plant position. Hades will swing on a timing, just about gets the spray and hops away. Has to go for a fresh reload though, and Quez is doing damage through the middle of the site. Hades, when does he swing? He feels like he has to because he's so low. He's thinking Quez is absolutely hunting him down, but he peaks too early, and it's another clutch going the way of Sashi.
No, Quez just holds his nerve there, doesn't he? He holds his nerve, just posted on the angle. 3 bullets in the magazine, not concerned about the retake. Doesn't pull out the sidearm either. Locks it down and eventually gets the frag there to win a key round for Sashi. Oh, I thought Monte had that one in the bag after Stico starts walking off the bomb site, gets that instant kill. Yeah, I thought Mister also probably made a bit of a mistake not trying to get up the vent when that smoke was still in play. It was probably his best opportunity to affect the round. But these rounds are so tense. Trying to keep your composure is really difficult.
Right. Especially for Monte now, right? Like, that needs to be 14-12 to them, but it's not. That's not the reality we're living in. Iceberg, that smoke does bounce off the floor, and it gives Demka probably the feeling that he can push that as he sees that smoke be slightly erroneous. And right now, Monte is just walking one by one through the corner of a smoke. What's going on? Yucky
Skills are falling off.
Counter-Strike.
And yeah, you're going to get these sorts of rounds though, Trav, just because of the fact that this is only their third best of 3 together, their third official that they've played.
And it's
So
OT,
sometimes
and they're still on T side.
Exactly, T side of their opponent's map, right? And this is where Sashi should clear Monte, where it gets these sort of tense situations, you know, they've got way more experience as a team, just keeping their composure and making sure they get it across the line. Quez is not going to fall back either. He wants to hang around with Cabby so that when Cabby takes a fight, Quez can get back into the equation, and it's looking so good on the defense from Sashi. It's flawless in their first half of overtime.
What a performance on the OT from Sashi. 2 massive clutches. 1v1s going down right to the wire. And unfortunately for Monte, they might have fallen at the last hurdle on this map. They're going to have to reset fast on map 2. They'll be thinking, oh, if only we took this one. It was such within our reach. And yeah, as we go into the second half of overtime with that 12.5k start money, Sashi juicy lead 1. Such good teamwork from them on the entire half. I wouldn't put anything past Sashi if they're able to come back and win this one. It's been very impressive.
Yeah, Monte had their map points in regulation, and with a broken bye, Sashi were able to force it into OT. And now they've got 3 chances to close out their pick.
He just about creeps down. That smoke was fading towards Squeaky. Hades looks like he wants to put a few more pot shots through those outside smokes, and might choose to do so from above. Of course, sometimes if Sashi would maybe palve it closer to the railing, you maybe would be able to see arms.
Yeah,
and
spot ahead.
spot a head or a shoulder over the top, as you say, and
This is really good though.
yeah, I like it.
The fact that they've been able to just show their hand in secret a little bit, just take that fight with Diha, is going to keep Diha focused on that B bump side. I thought it might draw a rotation as well, and I think that's what Sashi are also expecting. They're trying to draw a rotation down, although maybe they actually pivot in towards Iceberg at this point. Going to be able to get across there with that smoke, so Hades can neither confirm nor deny how many players have crossed. And it's most of them for Sashi. They do still have Quez lurking Squeaky Door. He does this role so well. If he's able to find a frag, that would be fantastic. But no, Hades will deny. And that's going to force Sashi's hand in towards the deep bomb side. It's only D who's here right now, and he's gone down.
Oh my word, Sticko. That nade is absolutely dirty. And Hades actually has been caught by Lucky's Molotov as well. I wonder how that went down. He's found Krasnal too. And now it's getting all the more difficult for Monte. It's Demka and Sticko both stuck toward ramp. They're peeking from either side, but they just might get taken down from either side. Cabby finds his. It's all down to Demka. They know exactly where he is. He is more stuck than he would want to be, and Cabby will take that one too. What an overtime that was from Sashi.
Yeah, they turned up, didn't they? They forced it into overtime and they never looked back from there. It's kind of brutal for Monte, who are up 12-11 at one point, and they don't win another round after that. 5 in a row come through for the Danes as they close out their pick. It certainly was a hotly contested affair, though. I mean, Sashi were pushed the distance there. They were made to work very hard to get a map, to get a win on a map that they're super comfortable on, Trav. So, I mean, that's certainly a positive that Monte can take away from it. Of course, right now, they're just going to be pretty disappointed that they didn't win the map itself, but lots to feel good about there for Monte.
Yeah, that's a painful one for Monte. Like, despite what you say, they'll be looking back at that overtime in the demo later, perhaps, and thinking to themselves, oh, look at all these small, minuscule, sort of micro errors that could change the round in certain situations. Either way, they won't be feeling that right now, but that was a very, very fun game to cast, and obviously it's nowhere near done yet. Our player to watch, of course, was Hades. He played very well, actually, in the entire half and the entire game, to be fair. Didn't really make any glaring errors other than perhaps that 1 versus 1 in overtime, because obviously when he moved past the silo, it was a bit too much of a slower peak up against Quez. Quez kept his nerve, so maybe that small error will be what he's thinking about, but at least he's showing that he can frag and he can lead this Monte team to, you know, a good enough level. But Sashi are just so good on Nuke.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And it showed when it mattered the most. We are going to be throwing this one to a short break, guys. When we come back, it's going to be map 2. It's Anubis. It's a pick of Monte. So we're expecting good things out of them. And if they can just carry on what we saw them doing on Nuke and then sort of add a little bit more spice, then who knows? The third map could certainly be on the cards. We'll find out in a moment's time, though. Oh, my lights. Sorry.
A very, very entertaining map one between Monte and Sashi, and whether that was entertainment due to the fact that it was some highly skilled aim or some messy rounds in overtime, it was the same result of entertainment, but very unfortunately for Monte, Sashi were just a lot stronger in overtime, winning all the important rounds.
Yeah, I mean, it was back and forth throughout the entirety of regulation. Neither team had more than like a 3-round lead throughout the whole map itself. And then eventually in regulation, Sashi were able to tear ahead, but it was in overtime rather, eventually, like I said. But in regulation, it was Monte who actually had that map point that they weren't able to close out, right? So they had their chance. That was against a broken by MP9s, a Scout. 1 M4 is all that the CTs had, and they managed to get into OT comfortably. And Monte paid the price. So yeah, kind of got broken by that round as far as I can tell.
Yeah, and now we go, of course, into Anubis, though. And this one's actually, kind of favours Monte a little bit. Since this roster has come together, as we said, they've played twice in Challenger League so far. They've had 1 win, 1 loss overall. But their 2 wins, when it comes to the maps, the consistent factor has been Anubis. They beat Zero Tenacity on it 13-10, and they beat Koi on it 13-6. So, sure, it's not maybe the best opposition in terms of that on that map.
Well,
however, you have to talk about Zero Tenacity's Anubis. They played that
that's exactly it.
so much, literally 70 times in the last 3 months. So, Koi one maybe not as impressive, but the Zero Tenacity one deserves to be spoken about.
I think Zero Tenacity are a top 20 team in Fresh. That's okay. Now it's Matt and Trav. There we go. As it's supposed to be. Can't have one without the other.
You got me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, because the IT problems around the world, right? That was widely
True.
reported. I mean, so many flight systems going down, all the banking systems going down. Just absolutely crazy how
Vault servers are still up.
Yeah, true. Maybe, what can you say by that? It always reminds me of something that one of my mother's friends used to say, right? She used to say, what are we going to do? We all rely on computers. what are we going to do when something goes wrong? And as you can see, it all got shut down. And everything
One day
was
there
very
will be like a
frustrating.
crazy solar flare and, you know, all of technology will be wiped out for like 3 days or something like that. And we'll lose our minds, Trav.
Might have to read books.
Hopefully, yeah, crazy, right? Use some candles for
Crazy.
lights, who the hell knows? But, yeah, speaking a bit more about this game, going into Anubis next, it's Monte's pick. They look good on the map. You know, you look at Sashi's history on Anubis as well. Played the map 8 times in the past 3 months. Got some decent sculpts on the map, I guess. Maybe not so much Johnny Speeds, Astralis Talent, Granny Knockers, and 777. They lost to 3D Max 1311, and they've only played the map once since they've come back from the player break. I think generally speaking, Sashi like to ban Anubis out in the second phase of the veto, so they avoid it more often than not. But yeah, actually, I think this is a great pick for Monte, just looking at the recent results for the Danish team.
Yeah, I really think there's a great opportunity. We could get through to the vertigo that we kind of want, right? Because I said earlier that I'd love to see a decider between these two. And if this map and the last map, if we are to get there, have anything like the entertainment we saw from map 1, then it should be very fun indeed. And we're into Anubis. I've not lost you, you've not lost me. All good. We're ready to go.
All's well and ends well. Couple sets of Julies here for the CT side. Sashi obviously get to choose which half they begin on here, as it is Monte's map pick. That's a T-side start for them, and they're going to just try and go in towards this B bomb site. But Monte are well set up to deal with this. They're 3 players in position, and the crossfire sets up. It's going to be so tough for Sashi to break on the entry. They're the ones who are being broken wide open right now. It's a flawless defense.
I like something that's going to be something as well that Monte will have worked very hard on. I mean, everyone knows that Anubis, you can put in some good T sides. Everyone kind of, I feel like, knows how to play the T side of Anubis, but CT side still seems to be evolving slightly. And yeah, it seems to be the map seems to be getting ever so slightly more even as time goes on. People are figuring out how to do the mid-round aggression, how to go for aggression early round as well to play the rotations, how to figure out what the T side are up to, and in that round Monte were very well set up for that pistol.
Yeah. And they land all the shots required. I mean, it's one thing setting yourself up correctly, but then still got to hit the shots and get the round done. They do it flawlessly. And that means because there's no kills for Sashi, nobody has the luxury of getting an upgraded pistol here, Trav. They all are condemned to Glocks. It's going to be the easiest round of Monte's life. Go on, Stiko. Rack up some eco kills there, mate.
If he hadn't have got
kills, plural.
If he hadn't have got one, it would have been actually a little bit funnier. But thankfully he did get one. And it's the only player they lose, of course. Hades gets himself 3. Important for that future CT side op.
Gun round is upon us. Sashi on the favored side here. Need to get this ball rolling right here, right now. Don't have full util, but they've certainly got enough. Problem is, there's only 2 flashes coming into the round for the T side. They've certainly prioritized their Molotovs. So it's worth keeping that in the back of our minds. What does Iceberg look to do here? What does the Bang do for Sashi to get themselves on the board? Standard passive default in the beginning.
Flash in to take A main. But only a quick, fleeting glance from Mister.
Yeah, they were worried about aggression from the CT side because he, heard them pushing forward,
Yes.
heard the util as well. So just wanted to make sure.
It's always good to make sure.
Uh-huh.
Like when I'm...
Monte,
Element.
yeah.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say, Monte regressing here toward their main, though. They certainly just got a bit of a dynamic CT side going on right now. Look a little bit unsettled as to how exactly they want to set themselves up.
Cabby got chunked down by that nade, and, well, he's been removed, and Hades is looking very clean on the rifle so far in this game. He's going to stick around, though, and he doesn't realise that Lucky's got a lot of space around that Molotov, but it shouldn't be an issue overall. Lucky's in a 1v3. Demka would be best advised to hide for as long as possible here, because his teammates are chasing him down, and in the end Demka takes the frag anyway. He does absolutely everything right there, does Demka. Makes sure he doesn't go down, and then peeks as soon as his teammates are close toward camera, and it's a nice start for Monte.
I think Demka must be one of the best A anchors in the world on Anubis, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. And
so comfortable.
I think there's quite a lot of players that I very enjoy watching as in that role. I thought that's actually one of the things that while Nexa was on G2, one of the few things that I liked what I saw from him. I thought his A anchoring on this map was very good. Sadly, he couldn't maybe back that up on other maps and other positions, but yeah, there's a number of players who play that spot very, very well. So many cheeky angles you can play, so many timings you can play around, so many nades you can use to hold the T side at bay and help out your teammates. It's that's actually one of my favourite sites to play myself as well.
Yeah. I mean, as an anchor, it's definitely one of the more enjoyable sites to play. You've got a bit more to work with. As we see the pistol of Sashi, they don't have much to work with, but they have been able to find an opening kill. I don't think things are going to spiral from here. I mean, Hades is being chipped away at. Okay, hold the phone. Krasnal's dead. Hades still remains rooted in position, and support's going to arrive on the scene, but the kills continue to come through. We've seen Monte struggle in these sorts of rounds already on Nuke, but I think they've done enough. I mean, Mr. does have head armor here to work with along with the M4, so they're going to have to just proceed with caution. Picked up the bomb, but Nuke is already ahead of the game.
Yeah, it should be telegraphed and shouldn't be a massive issue for Monte, but again, this round was very, very back and forth. We saw Krasnal playing the pillar between E-Box and main, right? Just flicking between both angles, spinning on the top, wondering where on earth I need to look at first. And as we saw, I got punished and couldn't even get away with one. Mr. has parred this one okay. He's actually fortunate enough that Monte have, at least for the first 15 seconds, decided to stick together. Now they've split up again. Now they realise what's going on. Kit available. Stickers will be ahead of the game here. Might be creeping a little bit too early. Demka now has to be the man to clutch this. Mr. has had one very important clutch in this series already on Nuke. And he seems to be aware that Demka's coming in from exactly the same angle. His internal clock. Oh. No! The internal clock changes and ticks over a second too early. No! Demka wins it out.
I was wondering when watching him when he was going to switch back and look towards the bomb site itself, because he had to eventually, right? He had to be wary that Demka could just be shift walking the whole way through to come clear A main out, but unfortunately for him, yeah, timing couldn't have been worse. It's a great eco round for Sashi. Outside of winning the round itself, they couldn't have asked for more out of that. 4 kills and a bomb plant as well.
That's just so upsetting for Mr. though. He won't be thinking about the positives. He'll be thinking, why didn't I just look at it for 1 second longer? But I agree. At least it's something for Sashi to work with. It's limited the Monte economy significantly, as you very rightly mentioned. And even though Monte have a clean sheet, it's not clean necessarily economically.
Right, well, I feel like Sashi have to win this round here. It's not like things are too far gone by any stretch, but if they lose this, then they're in some serious concerning positions at that point. And Krasnal is actually just going to be finding Quez there on the lurk. Not afraid to make a bit of a play there. And Hades just continues to control cameras from the A bomb side. They're keeping things very simple on the defense here, but it's incredibly effective.
That's so awkward for Sticko. He just wants to hold mouse 1, thinking that even if he's blinded up by that utility that's firing its way through, that he can still get his 1 kill, but it's caught. Cabby's got a smoke. That can be used towards Temple comfortably and block off that rotation, but Demka has got some of that of his own. Hades is in a very awkward position here, and he has to react quickly, and he can't react quickly enough. The tracking is a little bit off on that flick round. Now Cabby unlucky versus Diha and Krasnal now, as Demka gets removed. Diha's working his way in through Beach, but he's coming in quite late, and Cabby wants to get ahead of the game here. He wants to be assertive, and he's looking for that angle. Arm spotted, but Diha's seen it too, and he jiggles with the angle nicely. It's down to Lucky once again. Had a great game so far overall, been so impactful on Nuke. He's still hiding toward that cake position. Nice control on toward Diha. Now down to Krasnal. Oh, the spray just doesn't connect with the last few bullets. And Krasnal's got a kit. He's alright.
Oh, we've had some ridiculously close rounds so far here on Anubis. The A bomb site just littered with corpses. Round will go the way of the CT side. At least at the bare minimum, Sashi get a bomb plant, which means they will afford another full buy here, but yeah, the defense is working out really well. The clutches are going Monte's way. They're holding their nerve. Can't really fault Lucky there in the 1 versus X situation either.
That's a nice try from Lucky, but be upset that the spray was a little bit messy. What can you do sometimes? It looks like they might just put that out of their heads very quickly. It's a nice pick from Lucky to deal with the E-box frag. As you can see, the AWP has been nabbed by Krasnal, but they've already found a kill toward A as well. Right now, Sashi are just waiting. They don't need to go too quickly or too brashly here. Monte might go searching for something. It will give them an even more comfortable round if they do, because Sashi just holding in these defaults right now.
Yeah, you probably just roll the dice at this point. If you're Monte, just maybe stack up one of the bomb sites and hope that Sashi head in that direction. And at the moment, with the way that Sashi are poised, it looks like they will just try and split themselves towards the, say, bomb site. So they could be running into a bit of trouble, especially if Diha is able to inflict some damage before they get themselves across. He will find one in the second. Not too clean on the spray down, but it does come through now. Sashi going to commit to the original plan to try and get into the, say, bomb site, which is where the numbers are stacked up. Krasnal in the 1v1. He's not going to have the gunfight given up to him here on the bomb site. Instead, Lucky is just completely departed. Bomb on his back, and towards the B site he goes. Krasnal will hear the smoke grenade plume and have his suspicions confirmed. He's going to have to try and make this retake happen. At least he's been able to exchange his AWP for an AK.
It has to be like the 7th or 8th round that's gone down to a 1v1 in this entire series so far. It feels like we've had so many. Lucky, he has another opportunity. As you said, Krasnal, you'd have to feel like he holds the cards here. He's got the smoke. He's got the kit, and Lucky's just playing too much time. Even if the nade breaks up in the smoke slightly, he doesn't peek it in time, and just a little bit too late on the swing. He may get the kill, and it may limit the Monte funds again. Look, their money's kind of nowhere, even though they're winning these rounds. But it's one that goes Monte's way again.
That's the problem, like you say. Lucky was just really hoping and praying that it was a fake defuse. You kind of just, yeah, your heart sinks into your stomach once you hear the defuse has been completed at that point. Sashi were in such a good position. A 5 versus 3 pretty much can do whatever you want at that point to close out the round, as long as you do it as a team. Unfortunately for them, they just basically trip over every hurdle in their way, because Diha's in middle. He's able to get 2 kills, buys more time. Then Sashi commits to the original plan, try and go into A. You know, they trip over Krasnal, they trip over Hades as well. Just trying to trade their way forward wasn't very successful, and it means Monte continue their flawless start.
And in Lucky's case, right, it's always surprising in that sort of situation, in that clutch, how much time taking out a nade, chucking it where the smoke is, to pull out animation of your AK, like that takes a lot of time off the clock, especially when it's a 5-second defuse. So yeah, it doesn't leave you much chance to actually complete the kill anyway, even though he didn't swing probably as early as he should. Of course, he wasn't to know it wasn't a fake. Could very easily have been with that amount of time remaining on the bomb. Krasnal just outplays him.
Third map looking increasingly likely. Looks like you're going to get your wish of vertigo granted. Krasnal continues to make plays. The bomb site's feeling the pressure. Diha should go down, and he does. So finally, Sashi have been able to crack the code and get themselves full control and surely secure a plant with some decent numbers left alive on the server.
Sticko has a flank. Cabby is looking for that flank. Sticko is going to hit the dink, but he can't hit the second bullet. Always frustrating, and Cabby reacts well. If that kill goes the way of Monte, they can perhaps find a way to swarm the site overall, but not the case. And Sticko going down means that Demka and Hades will go off and save.
Okay, so Sashi have done it. They've gotten themselves around on the board. That has to be the first of a couple, though, here. I mean, you kind of feel like it has to be all the rounds left in this first half. Nothing particularly special about that round either. I mean, Krasnal makes a play, disrupts the setup. At least Sashi are able to trade and then continue from there, just keeping up the pressure on the B bomb site. And you can actually see, despite the fact that Monte have won 6 rounds in a row, they lose 1 and their economy is just demolished. And that's by the nature of how close these rounds have actually been. So this is doable. Still recoverable for Sashi.
Yeah. Lucky still doesn't have a helmet, by the way. He stayed alive for a couple of rounds, of course, when he failed in that clutch versus Krasnal, and he hasn't had a helmet for all that time. And that can punish you up against the M4 and the MP9s, of course. He has the money to buy it if he needed it, or felt like he wanted it. Sticko and Denko will have a quick glance outside A, but Hades is ready. Oh, I've seen him do some amazing work around that position before. This time it's only one. Are Sashi aware that Sticko and Demka are both here? They try and go through this smoke up against Demka, and it's not going to pay off for them.
It's what he does. It's what you get out of Demka. Fantastic double kill, locking down the line, and earns a massive advantage for the team. Sticko has just gone completely undetected. He is in the heart of the action.
Yeah.
He'll be traded out to finish off proceedings. Monte just pick up where they left off, straight back to winning ways.
Maybe the extra oomph it took for Sashi to take Nuke is catching up with them a little bit. Maybe, obviously, if Monte were getting owned 7-1 at this point, we'd be saying the same thing about them. But
yeah,
it's you have to kind of call it as you see it in that sort of way when it comes to the
crazy
mentality
to think that
struggle.
Yeah, Monte could have been on course for a 2-0 here had they actually just closed out and in regulation.
Yep.
They're almost certainly going to be seeing the light of day on Mirage. Of course, we've spoken about how this new Monte roster has played on Anubis twice. They've got an 80%, okay, I'm rounding up by a single percent. They have a 79% win rate on their T side, Travis. 79% win rate, and they haven't even gotten to that half yet, man.
Yeah, this team's looking particularly solid on this map, but can't lie. And if they keep it up, it's one to keep an eye on. Seems like the CT side especially has been very clean. Iceberg trying to make his way out. Diha go down to that. Iceberg tries to push in for more, but Sticko is there as well. Rotation. Sticko behind the site has a bit of a gap in the smoke to work with, but do you expect Krasnal as well? Another rotator into that very same position. It's a great catch from Quez.
And they've spotted him, I think. Feels like they know for a fact that he's there. Quez is just waiting.
Yeah.
Brilliant double kill out of him. It was looking pretty rough for Sashi initially trying to get in towards that B bomb site. I mean, Iceberg had gotten ahead of the game and he had a small opportunity there to get a kill, but he squandered it and then had to fall back. And I thought that Sashi had missed their chance, but the second wave works out very well for them.
And Sashi will be thinking, 7-5, guys. Here we go. Best case scenario, let's play for it. That would absolutely mean game on. Monte will be very disappointed at a 7-5 if it did pan out that way from here.
I mean, yeah, but I still feel like the game's... I feel like the game's already over. That Monte
Really?
with 7 rounds on their CTs. I do, just because of how good their T-side has been and how good their individuals are looking as well. I don't think that 5 is enough for Sashi in this first half.
I mean, arguably, and statistically, I'd agree with you. But this game...
It still feels like a bit of a crazy thing to say, though, that the game is over when
does.
a team only has 7 rounds. So it is a bit of a stretch, but it's fun to stick your neck out there every now and again.
Hopefully you don't get burnt.
I don't mind it, mate. At this point, I'm just immune to the burns. Just been incinerated so many times. I do it to myself.
Used to the sun as well.
That's true. We do get a lot of beautiful sun here in the south of Africa.
Now, what on earth can Hades do with this AWP that he's kept over? Can he somehow get a frag toward one side, maybe rotate, keep himself unpredictable? Demka, this is a very awkward position for him. He knows that as soon as he sees a leg, he needs to hop up. And all he has is a smoke. And he has no support whatsoever. He's hoping that Sashi is just going to respect that position and respect that smoke. Possibly hoping that they think the AWP is there too. Or it's a stack, perhaps. But they didn't do that. And the round's over.
Yeah. Just about making sure that they don't lose anybody else to the AWP on Hades, who's probably not going to go hunting too much, because he also wants to make sure he carries the sniper through. Diha can pick up the AK, and Sashi do get a third. I mean, listen, 7-5, they have to win that pistol round and the first gun round as well. And at that point, maybe I start to believe. It's going to take a lot, though, from Sashi.
I'm jamming out to the tunes right now. Next to the little music playing in Spawn.
Nothing beats the overpass music outside the club there.
Yeah, true. Does get this Inferno Spawn music as well. That is absolute classic.
Can make your own music with the bells there.
Yeah. You know the if anyone's actually wanting to relax right now, have extra relaxation, go and search the Inferno CS2 church music, the ambience. It's one of the most relaxing sounds in the game right now.
You play it when you're falling asleep?
I probably could fall asleep to it, and I'm not even joking. It's that chill. It's so nice.
All right, I'll have to put that on after the game. This is a very big round for Sashi. If they win this, they break that CT side economy, and 7-5 is looking pretty damn good at that point. Demka waiting for the timing, his internal clock. 60 throws the smoke, but it's gone a lot deeper than where the Sashi player's opposition. Sneaker will throw a molly, but again, it's not going to keep them at bay. Iceberg does not entirely melt, and the round melts away here for Monte. The job's done. Round's over. And Sashi are going to be wondering, could we not have started off the half in this sort of a fashion? Because they've certainly found their footing now.
They have changed their style a little bit. I don't know if you've noticed that as well. Like, it's a bit more of a contact sort of play style in terms of more than a well thought out default round. Again, it's a round that collapses on A, and Monte can't deal with it. And yeah, it's frustrating for Demko because he mentioned how good he's been defending that site, but in that certain situation, they've paths their way. Sashi, they've paths their way so well toward like the right hand side as Demko would have looked at it. So he thinks there's no one even there. He just throws the normal smoke, thinking that he's got enough space to work with. And talking of space to work with, Hades has none of it. Last tick of the round and last headshot goes the way of Lucky. Nobody saves for Monte, and that 7-5 could prove to be a reality.
Yeah, they're looking better. They're improving. The individuals are starting to pitch up here as well. I mean, all of the individuals across the board look great on Nuke. I mean, Iceberg, obviously don't require as much out of him. He's been the shining light here on Anubis, though. 10 kills to his name, double digits. And a great chance here for Sashi to get themselves that fifth and completely prove me wrong. Wouldn't be the first time today I've been proven wrong in a cast, that's for sure.
I gotta say, that was just incredibly amusing. I'm sure you laughed about it later on in the clip, which I didn't hear,
yeah, so. I certainly did. I just said I deserve all the abuse I'm going to get from this one as well. And I'll tell everybody exactly what we're talking about just now, because there's a big push in towards the A bomb side, but the rotations, they're thick and fast right now. Just dominating the defense on the A bomb side. Everybody rotated across.
Yeah, it was crazy. There was like, what, 4 players waiting behind the camera smoke at one point. A couple next to the broken wall area as well. That was,
yeah, 2 players swing either side, just working together.
Yeah, it was perfect. Absolutely perfect. And now Iceberg needs a 1v3, trying to clear out every single angle. Spots the fur. Has a Molotov for Krazel, and a nade to double it down. That's going to have to push into 2 separate angles. And the double hold works out nicely. Monte get the last round of the half, and it is at least 8. We'll see if they can take us to a third after a quick break.
Okay, we're back, and we're going to be getting into the action here once again. The second map has looked very good for Monte up until this point. They dominate the proceedings on the defense, and, well, a pistol round pretty much guarantee the light of day on map 3, and there's going to be a big battle in towards middle. Sashi have their numbers stacked up here, and Monte, they just pull up the handbrake. They don't want anything to do with the numbers in mid. Instead, they pivot off the bridge and towards B.
Oh, Krasnal, though. Look at the kill feed. Just falls apart instantly. 3 headshots immediately. Gosh.
How did he get those kills in such quick succession, man? I just don't even know where those frags come from. I didn't even know that there were 3 players close enough around him for him to kill them all.
USPs are about to be eaten up. Should be very tasty for Krasnal. There's a stack though. You have to be ever so careful.
I don't think so,
the
Trav.
banked one. Yeah.
There's no problem there. No concern at all. It's a toothless stack. It's just USPs. Farm them up. Pad those stats, boys. You see, Sashi are just doing Monte a favor by putting all 5 players in the same bomb site so they can get the round over a little bit quicker.
Yeah, your as you were talking about before, your little mistake with the Ral's clutch earlier today. It wasn't even a mistake.
Yes.
It was the right call.
Well, yeah, just to clue everybody in. So, Rawls was on the T side of Dust 2, decided, had $10,000 in the bank, decided to keep his Mac 10 instead of upgrading to the AK. He then ends up in a 1 versus 3 where his first opponent is at range. And then I said, I bet you wish you had an AK now, don't you, Rawls? After saying I think he should have upgraded it. And he just goes on to clean up the 1 versus 3 clutch with ease, just chews up all 3 players. So, yeah, I ended up with egg on my face there, but it was worth it.
I'm sure Freddie enjoyed that one.
Oh, he did. He ate his heart out, mate.
Mr. on and off angle toward E-Box. Demka pushing him down. What a lovely swift peek that was. He's even going to deal with Iceberg as well. This map could be very close to being over if entry's going to be hit like that by Monte. Krasnal with the M4A4 will deal with Lucky, and this one has fallen apart at the seams sharpishly.
Quez has just got to try head for the heels here, carry his M4 through into the next. And Sashi at this point, they're just thanking their lucky stars that they were able to get the job done on Nuke. Otherwise would have been on the brink of losing their opening match here in Group D. 11-4. Monty knocking on the door of Vertigo.
And Diha will make sure nothing is saved. And this Anubis that Monte is showing with this new Polish core. Monte have been around the block. Ukrainian core, EU mix, and now Polish core. It's looking particularly good, especially on this map. It's going to be 3 in a row for them if they can close this out. Of course, they've played in ECL only thus far of Monte. I think they've been invited to a upcoming CCT group.
Yeah, they are.
So we'll see more from there. Okay, hello, Gabby. That was wild. Iceberg's got the FAMAS as well. He's going to double down.
Yeah, nice. A little bit of resistance coming through there from Sashi. Just throwing caution to the wind, dropping off the bridge at the start of the round, forcing gunfights. Iceberg's double down was impressive. I thought he was going to be traded out there.
Still jiggle peeking that as well. Needs to be careful with the M4A4 sticker on the other side, and I think Sashi will know that this round could still go awry with the weaponry and health that they have, especially with the fact that they only have 1 player on the A-bomb site right now. However, they do have a lot of information. You know exactly where Monte are planning to try and finish here, how they're spreading out and closing Diha and Sticko. Especially look at Mister with the XM. But he does need to be careful, of course, with the range of that.
As you say, I mean, Sashi know exactly what's going on. There's a slight bit of doubt from Iceberg, just in case they have been able to sneak their way through canals back in towards B. But big flank here out of Mister with that auto shoddy. This player just given up for free. That's going to force D-Hub forward, but there's just no way he can make anything happen. And Sashi do get themselves another round, but they're just so far behind the game right now that it really is impossible to conceive a world in which they're going to win here on Anubis, right? Surely not.
Yeah, you'd think. I like Mister's choice there. Going rugs was the correct call for sure. This would be Monte's last purchase. If they do lose this round with no one saving, then Sashi would be 11-6, and then that would turn into 11-7. As I always say, if your opponent needs to win 2 rounds rather than just 1, you always feel like you have a chance, especially in MR12 these days. You can afford 1 more mistake if you're Sashi.
Yeah, they've got the least amount of breathing room possible to still have breathing room.
Yeah. Demka might just be looking to own the A bomb site again, though. Oh, Quez, that's not the good timing to shift toward it, is it?
Demka's so dialed in at the moment. He had a bit of a quiet game on Nuke, didn't he? But you just know you're never going to get that across an entire series from him. So, inevitability that he will pitch up as Diha is taken out of the round, but he can relay good info through to his teammates that they can only be at maximum 2 players on the same bomb site. Lucky steps would have been heard, so they'll now know for a fact there's only 1 guy on A. It's about figuring out where he is, and there we go. They root him out of position. Mister and Iceberg have no option but to carry their weapons through, and there is now no breathing room left for Sashi. I did say in the pregame I expected this Monte team to be at a pretty good level very early on in their tenure.
Yeah.
And I guess that's kind of proving to be the case, right? Beating out Koi 2-1 and pushing Sashi the distance on their crown jewel of Nuke, demolishing them here on Anubis. Very exciting times ahead for this recently formed Monte roster.
No, I mean, there'll be people right now who will look at Monte's results and say, "Oh, you've lost a Zero Tenacity. You're losing a map to Sashi. Like, where on earth are you? Where on earth are you?" But some people just maybe won't gauge the fact that, Sashi's Nuke is, borderline top 10 quality, and as well as other results going around the grounds that aren't surprising. I think the Zero Tenacity loss, as you say, really wasn't that bad at all, and the fact they're able to, the one map they beat them on being this one, Zero Tenacity are Anubis gods. It's actually insane, as we spoke about earlier. Quite literally 70 maps played on it in the last 3 months, and those last 3 months include a 1-month player break. It is just ridiculous. It's technically 2 months. Hades, there's the start, and there's the follow-up. Quez has crept into the angle, and he's crept into his death.
Perfectly played by Hades. Just first frag found on the angle, pivots 180 degrees, gets a second kill as well. Does go down eventually, but the round continues to fall apart for Sashi. We did mention that Hades was our player to watch. He's got 17 kills and just 10 deaths right now on Anubis. So leading the charge for his team. He was phenomenal on Nuke as well. He was 25 for 21 on Nuke, so he's top fragging. Doesn't look like IGLing is doing anything to his individual level. Demka takes off his head. Iceberg will not even get the frag for free that was gifted to him. And that is a fantastic result out of Monte.
Absolutely superb, and we are going to get to see Vertigo. That's what I exactly wanted to see from this series. You just don't get to see much of Vertigo, I feel like, at the moment, since those changes were made to the map, and we are going to see it this evening. So, great game from Monte. They keep up their Anubis form that has looked so solid, as we've been describing. And Sashi going to be a little bit pooped, perhaps, after that first map and how long it took them in that overtime, and how many difficult rounds there were in that overtime as well. But yeah, you're absolutely right, Matt. Hades, our player to watch, even though it was in a losing effort in map 1. You can see his map 2 stats below right there. 17 kills, 1.7 KDR and 77 ADR overall, which is a pretty nice level, of course, for the AWPer.
It can be very difficult to AWP IGL because when you're the AWPer, especially on the T side, you want to be posted on angles, you want to be looking for those fights kind of thing, but you also want to keep in the back of your mind where the team is at and what you're looking to do. And so you kind of maybe want to peer at your minimap every now and again, take your eyes off your screen, off your scope, but man, Hades just hasn't proven to have any problem with it up until now. We're going to throw this one to a short break, guys. When we come back, it's time for Vertigo. A decided split these two teams is not going to be a map you can afford to miss.
We have what we wanted. We have a third map decider between these two. As I said earlier, I kind of was looking at this matchup last night thinking, oh, I really hope this is a good one. And we have kind of got that, to be fair. First map delivered. Second map was a very impressive win for Monte. And now we go into a bit more of an unknown of Vertigo between these two. We know Sashi have been, quite good on it. But it still feels like it's, in general, the map is more of a question mark for many teams at this level.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely has fallen out of favor since the changes came through, right? It's slowly starting to rear its head a little bit more. We're seeing teams, leave it as a decider more often than picking it, but I'm keen to see it between these teams, and I think that Vertigo is going to be a very good map for this Monte squad, honestly, just based on the pieces they have to work with, the players and the history that those players have had on the map as well. It's always been a good map for most of these players in their past teams, and also just how good they've looked as individuals in the series. I mean, if they're able to push Sashi as far as they do on a map like Nuke, there's no reason they can't be competitive on Vertigo.
Yeah, you'd think so, wouldn't you? I mean, that is a very good point, and I feel, obviously, I've had a chance to cast a few of Vertigo since the changes, since they opened up Elevator, of course, and I did the catwalk outside A, but not as much as I really thought I would. I think because of the way that Vertigo is playing now, because of those changes, we're seeing the likes of, Ancient, Anubis, all these maps that are, stock solid in the pool, but going even more so and being played even more across the scene, and even map like Dust 2, which of course has been added and has had some changes to that too. I feel like that's being played a hell of a lot purely because people don't like touching Vertigo right now. So yeah, it's a bit of a weird one, but that's what makes this particular Best of 3 decider so interesting.
There's actually nothing weird about it at all, Trav. It's the worst map in the pool, unequivocally, objectively speaking. So it makes total sense why it's the ugly duckling and it gets as little attention as it does. But
my little Vertigang heart is
I know. Trav is one of the few Verti yeses, funny enough. There aren't many of them. But yeah, we accept them in society anyway, don't we?
Even I accept that Vertigo probably shouldn't be in the pool anymore.
Because my beloved Overpass had to be cut. It's like, for real, like Overpass, the game that's so deeply embedded in, entertaining Counter-Strike, competitive Counter-Strike, so ridiculously layered.
Yeah.
It's like you've got the choice between two waffles. You've got like a beautiful caramel, it's got the sauces, it's got the cream, it's got ice cream and everything you want, or vanilla. And it's like, which one are you? Okay, cool. Yeah, let's go with vanilla, sure.
I don't know. Yeah, what can you say? I mean, look, I don't know if I can do this, actually, because we're not getting into the game yet. Let's try if I can do this. Look at my poster behind my computer. You see? That's Overpass.
There we go.
There you go, right? I've got an Overpass poster. I've got some more on the wall over there.
That is very cool, actually.
Got the classic shout out Wheezy T.
Is that Daniel O'Leary?
Daniel O'Leary, yep. Shout out Wheezy T. There you go. So,
yeah,
listen,
Travs is looking kitted, man. It's my turn, Trav. Just as you guys can see behind me here, I am really trying to build up a bit of an ambience.
Yeah, that's the white wall needs a bit of character.
The problem is I've generally got the green screen, right? So
yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I know you like your plants, don't you? You're very big on your.
If I could take you guys on an adventure through the flat right now, I'd sheesh, it would be quite something, mate. I think most people would be a bit concerned about my well-being, but you wouldn't be concerned about the well-being of my plants, that's for sure. They're looking great. Either way, Trav, enough yapping. We've hit the button. Casters have started the game, and into Vertigo we go.
Yeah, enough about us, enough about what's actually important. Sashi and Monte. Vertigo. Decider. Monte, as we said, this is their third game in ECL this season. It's Sashi's first, so you'd argue maybe it's ever so slightly more important for Sashi to get off to a good start. Let's see if they can do exactly that. Walk up A to begin. Smoke
exec
towards, yeah, to the front of the elevator there. Just need to worry about that left-hand side. He will clear it out. He sees Iceberg dancing between the catwalk and the back of heaven. Iceberg can just stay here and jiggle with these angles and try and just get a cheeky shoulder kick tap. Why not?
There's a kit in play here for Sashi, so they have got time to work with, but they don't have many players left alive. It's only Cabby and Lucky to try and combine, and there's still so much work to be done here in this retake as well, if they're even going to think about trying to go about this. It's just nothing being offered up by Monte. They're forcing Sashi to push their way forward, and obviously with the changes, there's way more post-plant positions available for the T side, but they've still got the smoke on the bomb, and Lucky's recovered the kit as well. He's going to stick to the defuse in the smoke right now, but the kill will come through for Krasnal.
Brilliantly done by Krasnal again. Another big round from him. Triple on the board. I mentioned his form, right? It's a bit of a weird one. As I said, from CS:GO and to CS2, the improvement was remarkable. And some players kind of hit the ground running a little bit like that in CS2 compared to Go.
Yeah, true.
Krasnal was definitely one of them. But then he fell off ever so slightly, maybe just not feeling comfortable, of course, with the roster changes, being back and forth. Of course, he didn't have a confirmed fifth for quite a while. Hadji was on trial for a little bit, wasn't he? So
yes,
maybe just switching around roles that he wasn't comfortable with, and maybe now they've got a full team again, and they know what they've got, know what they're dealing with. He's going to start fragging again, just like this.
He's also playing with some Polish players for the first time since, like Los Kogutos or AGO, end of 2022 kind of thing. So I'm sure that'll be a nice little thing for him to appreciate as well. You know, someone to share some home truths with. I don't know, man. Just like, you can connect, right? You can connect with people from your country. So that'll maybe make him feel at home a little bit more. Krasnal's definitely one of the players that's improved drastically here in CS2, though, that's for sure. He's been great throughout the series as well.
Yeah, Mac 10s will do some farming. Some nice cash in the bank now. Hades will be willing to take the Mac 10 instead, as obviously any kill he gets will help toward a future AWP. Of course, D here will probably likely drop it over anyway, but you know what I mean. Every little helps. And of course, him being the IGL now, he's more willing to give up the rifle to a fragging teammate. Happy. Forced back by that Molotov. He needs to somehow find one, and he does, but Hades does send him off the building.
Not a bad start to the round here for Sashi. Generally speaking, that 1-for-1 trade at the start of the round favors the T side, so Monte will be happy with that opening pick and then look to try and build themselves into the round. Create some space. Gonna head back towards B here. Quez is deep and he doesn't have any immediate support either. I mean, this is the life he's used to. B anchor kind of thing on Vertigo. Needs at least a frag, and he will find that, and some more as well.
He's so good. I mentioned that he loves the anchoring positions, and I mentioned actually B Vertigo earlier, and he stepped up there when he was first required. Lovely twofer. But that's a great kill from Hades. It's now down to Krasnal. Surely he's not long for this world, and he is not. He is, well, very stuck on default. And that will be Sashi with a nice little retake. Keep two players alive. They'll try and scoop up everything they can. Any bit of spare utility. Lucky finds himself a smoke. Make sure the AK... We'll try to get the AK to a teammate. And yes, it does just hang on. And make sure to get both AKs in hand. First round on the board.
Sometimes it feels like it takes a year to actually put the bomb on the ground after you've activated it. You know, you're just like a sitting duck, can't do anything. Felt like that for Krasnal after he planted the bomb there. And Sashi, yeah, get themselves their first round here on Vertigo. It was a great hold from Quez initially to get those two frags, buys a little bit of extra time for his teammates to rotate across, so they've got all the numbers over towards that B bomb site. At least Monte do find a plant though. So they'll keep up the pressure in terms of the investment. There's an AWP here for Hades again as well, so let's see where he's looking to try and find some impact. Normally, you just find the AWP at the bottom of ramp, right? Trying to find a CT who's maybe overplaying his hand a little bit.
Hades trying his pick. Not this time. I've seen him play this angle a lot, and I've actually seen, it's not just him, there's many players, of course, that will try and play this little V-shaped position just between the brickwork and the yellow part of the crane there. You can also put a few bullets through it, as you can see, to maybe try and gauge information on who's working their way in at what time. And sometimes you can get very cheeky kills from that area as well as they walk their way up, but he'll fall away this time. Sometimes he's very willing to stick around there.
Not much done so far in the round here for Monte. 40 seconds left on the clock, and now they're going to start to work their way up the round. Look at Cabby, he's making moves late into the round, and he's even going to hang around after he finds the opening frag. This is so brave from Cabby. You got to wonder there, 5 versus 4. He's really trying to end the round there, and certainly does cost him his life. Krasnal gets cleared out. That's a really big kill coming through there from Iceberg, and everything will fall into place for Sashi.
Instant rebuttal from Sashi. And Monte, of course, down to pistols once again. It was definitely a rude awakening when I think everyone would have played Vertigo for the first time since those changes. I think in one of the first officials, or one of the Mouse and XT officials, of course, we know they're massive Vertigo enjoyers, whether it's post-update or pre-update. Excuse me. And yeah, there was one moment when they were trying to like work their way through mid, through elevator to the A site, and they tried to clear the little Z connector to heaven, when it was just blocked off now, of course. It's always funny when that happens.
Yeah, probably only make that mistake once, and then it's just so, like, egregious.
I'm glad that bit's removed, though. It was a bit messy.
Yeah, unnecessary, redundant. Full eco here for Monte. Shouldn't be able to get much done. They would love to get at least one more kill here, but I don't think it's going to happen. Both players are already low. And Sashi should be able to get the first round, or get the lead for the first time here on the map, rather. Now, we haven't really seen Sashi get going in the series at all since sort of overtime in Nuke. Looks like they're starting to come back to themselves here, Trav.
Yeah, and going by rankings right now, this would be the expected result if they were to be able to find this, even if it's in 3 maps. As you know, Monte just have that individual name value and power to work their way back up to a ranking that's either similar or better than Sashi's current. Of course, we know where Monte were, and even how good they still were, even after their kind of fairy tale run at the major, of course. They moved on to Bro for a little bit, and I thought that settled them down quite a lot. Boros obviously was a lot more volatile. Bro was a very good role player, and he's still showing that in Astralis to this day. And yeah, ever since they lost him, they were kind of fumbling around for a choice, weren't they, and trying to figure things out. But it looks like they've kind of found the answers, at least for the next few months or so leading up to the major, that's for sure. And the first 2 frags of this round will go their way.
Yeah, they pump the brakes, though, after they get those 2 kills. I thought they'd just continue to lead the charge in towards that B bomb site and maybe just keep flashing their way forward. Kind of what I hoped they would do as well. I think by slowing things down here, they give Sashi a way to try and figure out how they can get back into the round. So they're making a play ramp right now. They're getting info. They realize there's no further presence there from the T side, so they'll rotate an extra player across towards B. And even though Lucky gets completely blinded, he still just stays in that position because he knows he has to gamble here. And so they might not expect him now because they haven't flashed him back. Oh, Monte, they're kind of giving Sashi away back into the round here.
Yeah, and there's Cabby. Demka's just gone searching toward the bottom of ramp. It's another sort of one-player pushing in situation, right? And one by one getting caught off. The advantage cancelled out straight away. And or is this a situation where the boost is just not working properly because it's a CS2 issue? Valve, please fix. I think that one just didn't look
like
too
a
great.
Error.
That looked a little bit more like user error, I do agree with you. But it can happen a little bit like that. It can look a little bit like that sometimes. Lucky in position. Damage done to Krasnal as well. Hades tries to creep through again. It's just a solo peek, and they've all been plucked off one by one here.
Feels bad, man. It feels so bad here for Monte. I can't believe how this round's falling apart. I mean, they were 5 versus 3 up. They haven't even gotten a single kill since then. But it's almost like they kept playing the round as though it was a 5 versus 5, the way that they were trying to find another pick before they actually made a decision as to where they were going to commit. And you don't have to keep playing out the default. At that point, you just use the numbers. Oh, man. I mean, the first guy who goes down to Lucky Zorb, there's no room for a trade. Then Cabby gets a kill elsewhere. I mean, that guy was obviously untradeable as well. Just not at all using their numbers advantage. I still think that they should have just kept going in towards the B site. I think if you get like a double kill entry at the start of the round stairs, you've just got to ride that wave all the way in towards the B site. Just trade your way forward.
Yeah, I actually completely agree with that. Vertigo does lend itself to that sort of mentality as well. can get toward that B site very quickly and overwhelm very quickly. I guess they're worried of like there being one more player there and a very fast rotation, perhaps from mid too. It could have just cancelled them out considering the damage that was done to Diha and Krasnal. But it's a little bit too defensive, I guess, a little bit too hesitant. That nade's going to hurt.
It
Ouchie.
does. I guess what we just saw in the previous round is also just a symptom of Hades in the early stages of figuring out calling. Sometimes you get too passive and too conservative because you don't want to overplay the round when you've got that advantage and then just lose it straight away. Either way, it is a bit of a half buy here from the T side, but they've got themselves a fantastic advantage. Full control of that B bomb side. This is looking a lot better from the T side.
I don't know how they've done it on this round of all rounds, but they did kind of learn from the previous, didn't they? They pounced on it, and it's going to work out for them. Cabby unlucky, you're off to save, and the little 4-round streak for Sashi has been broken. This sort of half buy, as you can see, with Demka on 1500, Hades had 1300. Is going to do them well. I'm going to give them a little bit of residual cash to work with, as long as they stay alive, of course, the last three. They've picked up the rifles. Cabby will try and limit it, and he manages to limit it at least by one, but only one.
1 round gap. Duke was a very tight affair throughout the whole map itself. Neither team was really able to get any significant lead. Anubis, quite the contrast. Monte just dominated. First half they were, what, 8-4 up, I think, and then only lost a single round that second half. Anubis proving to be a very good map for this Monte team in the early stages of this roster. That's nice.
Okay.
That's really nice. You take that.
I was talking about that angle that Iceberg was playing, right? He hasn't given up on it. He's just willing to stick there every single round. Luckily, they're going to know he's somewhat caught in the open, and the flash is really well done by Diha. That puts Mister on alert. He knows there's going to be 2 players in this position, but in comes the double peek with Iceberg. Managed to deal with Sticko from the A side of the map. And they recover it into a 3v3. Iceberg starting off this round pretty dirtily. But Monte keeping it close again.
They've got plenty of time to play with here in the round as well. 3 versus 3. Looks like they're going to head back towards Demka. But Quez is in a fiendish position right now, man.
Yeah, he'll know every single angle on this site. He's lived it
yeah.
since the entirety, since the map was first even included into the pool. And you know what?
And there we
of
go.
Course, it's going to work for him. A lovely 2-piece. Demka only gets the 1 more. And Sashi will hit straight back. Just smart work from Quez again.
Yeah, something we're accustomed to seeing out of him. Always a guy who likes to think about his game, where he positions himself, the gunfights that he doesn't take. Not just like a raw aimer, right? And generally it is the thinkers who end up in those sort of anchor roles.
He's a thinker. He's
So
a
good at
noticer.
finding... Yeah, he is, exactly. And he's so good at finding multi-kills in rounds that he just doesn't have any support, right? Which is a great quality and hallmark of a good anchor player.
Yeah, if you've got those angles that Iceberg has, like that little V on the crane, it's using them to the best of your ability. Why not? There's still a couple of weird positions as well, I think, on Vertigo that I think glitched is a strong way of saying them, but it's very hard to hit shots through them, if you know what I mean. Oh, look at this.
Well, there we go.
Reface with like 9 bullets. There we go.
And refaces again afterwards.
Finally, they found a way to remove him from that position.
Yeah, just take his head off when he peeks you, right? And he would have even known there was an AWP as well. Surely he would have spotted that on Hades when he took him down. So that makes it even more brave from Iceberg to peek back down there. This is such a big opportunity for Sashi because Monte have spent all their money. So if they can win the 6-3, become 7-3, and that's a very good position to be in here in the decider. Abby loves making a play here, doesn't he?
Yeah, I've seen this so often from him. And he knows the timings of when to fall back as well. He seems to have got a little playbook in his mind of how he plays that area, especially when teammates come through. But it might not work this time. He does well to find the trade on Krasnal, but the bomb is going to be stuck. Mister might try and push forward. There's lots of damage being done. And Diha, how does he pile his way out? The answer is, well, I thought he didn't. It's actually Sticko who kind of body blocked him in the smoke, and Sticko just takes the bullet for him, protecting the VIP
shooting,
perhaps.
Shooting at Diha, they catch Sticko, and the smoke is still on the bomb. That was a smoke thrown on the bomb to get the plant, if I'm not mistaken. And, Mister just cleans up some great shots coming through from him. It is going to be a 6th on the board now for Sashi. As you say, just really good protocols in place there in general, from Cabby as well, just falling back at the perfect moment. Rotations were on point, and Sashi have some good composure in terms of their retake as well.
Sashi back in the ascendancy somewhat. And yeah, Vertigo has not just gone through like weird phases in terms of how the maps look. It's also gone through weird phases of how CT and T side it's been. I think at one point it was pretty heavy T, then it went back to CT again. I think right now it still feels a little bit CT, I would say. Not just via this game, but just like in general, it feels a little bit more CT side, especially with how open the A site is now. More sight lines for them.
Also kind of depends who you ask about the changes in terms of who they think it favors. It kind of varies. Seen a couple different pros, you know, saying, oh, they think it's going to make the map a little bit more T-sided or make it a bit more CT-sided. Of course, more comes down to execing A and then retaking. Either way, certainly not going to be a part of the map that sees much action here as Monte start to shift themselves in towards B. And they've got a little bit of util, mate. 2 flashes and a smoke, not anything outside of that. So it's going to be a tough breach.
Oh, great entry from Hades. The flash really works out, and Diha just doubles down, triples down, quadruples down. Well, it was set up by that Hades flashbang, and, well, I tell you what, he absolutely made the most of it, that's for sure.
Yeah, fantastic entries coming through there from Diha. Just the tip of the spear being thrust into the action and just cleans up every single person in his path. That's exactly what happened on Nuke, is that, yeah, Sashi were looking good at times, but they were never able to completely pull ahead. Monte again making sure they keep their opponents within arm's reach, and now they get to play against an eco. They've earned this opportunity. Can they make good of it?
Great opportunity, and even half again. Cabby, Thamas though. Damage that's been done to Kraz. And look at the damage that's been done to Quez. He has eaten those. It's not going to taste very nice. Iceberg is one dig Demka though, and Diha of course is still here. They kind of left Diha there to wait for any aggression. As you can see, Cabby's now down to 1 HP too, but Lucky's found Sticker off camera. It's a 5 versus 3 out of nowhere. And look at the 3-man hold that Sashi have in place on B. If Krasnal goes anywhere near this, you'd think he and Diha might just get mulched up a little bit. He's going to try and take the initiative. They're actually stacked up on top of that mid box. It's a bit awkward. They don't swing together, but they both get taken down, and I feel like Sashi just didn't need to do that right then and there.
Yeah. I don't know who the second player was to take up that position, but he kind of sells his teammate short at that point, and they're both forced to swing as a result. But Cabby, with a single hit point, just one to his name, has taken the head off of Diha. And now it's Hades and Krasnal to try and recover the situation around him, which was looking so good for Monte, an anti-eco. They've got 23 seconds to try and recover.
Nice pre-fire from Krasnal. Cabby was not long for this world, but Lucky still on the close angle. Leg spotted. Swing comes through. Almost a lineup. It's down to Hades, but Iceberg, he might just creep in on a timing here. Hades knows he has to plant. Iceberg knows that Hades has to plant. And there goes Hades. AWP recovered. And that's at least a lead to work with for Sashi going into half number 2.
I mean, Iceberg finds a 1D all the way over towards A ramp by himself up against Demko, probably have an AK. And then he closes out the 1 versus 1 as well. Just really good timing there after Hades committed to the plant. So he's having a great game of it right now on Vertigo. He's got 15 kills. We've only played 11 rounds. 5 frags above anybody else on the server right now. So he's having a great time of it. And if Sashi make this 8-4 going into the T side, they'll absolutely back themselves to close it out from there. In fact, they generally favor the T side on this map. 59% win rate, so they're very happy playing the T side of Vertigo. Not so happy with that smoke grenade, though.
It happens. Dia just edging the smoke slightly, working his way through stairs. He's been tasked with that role. Iceberg will continue on that position. To pepper bullets as much as possible, but look at the timing. Monte are walking up on here. Iceberg won't see it until the last second, and Monte know that he loves that area, and know that he's loved that area throughout the whole map, so they actually path it a little bit differently, and it works out well.
Yeah, he gets caught completely off guard, no support either, and maybe because he's been playing so well, he's kind of feeling himself right. He wants to try and take gunfights, and means he's overcommitted. There's going to be a boost up here in the middle of the round. It could catch some perfect timing. Monte are setting themselves up for an exec. No, never mind. Demka, he's on notice. Brilliant awareness from him. Keeps his teammates alive, and they've got a big advantage now to try and convert the round.
Okay, Hades doesn't expect that Lucky could still be behind that Molotov, so that's a recovery kill. They haven't got a plant sorted out yet either. So Sashi's rotations will be coming through it. Maybe Weller not figuring out a plant yet. Oh, Dia! He spooks himself, seeing Quez going back to check the B side. And they were taking the bomb back. Look at Sticker on the X-ray underneath A there. They were taking the bomb back, considering how far Dia had pushed forward. So they've got time for this, sure, but it's a bit scary knowing that elevated position is open. And there we go. Mystic can peek it safely. He's looking for 2. He couldn't deny the plant, but he denies 2 players. And it's all down to Demka. They might not expect him here, considering that he kind of hasn't covered his teammates on either one of those situations. But with all 3 players of Sashi, surely they clear Demka out. There is one headshot position. There's another. Oh, so close. But not to be. Nice try from Demka, but Lucky will take it. And Sashi take 8 on the half.
What should be the last half of the series is upon us. And I say what should be because there is still a chance we could go into overtime from here. I wouldn't count it out considering how closely contested these two teams have been. Sashi did outclass Monte in that first half, and it wasn't without Monte making some mistakes. Trav, that 3 versus 5 is fresh in my memory. Could have certainly changed the outcome, but now they have to get the job done on the CT side.
But Sashi are going with pace. Already that first piece of pace has been punctured. Cabby is down. Krasnal tries to block the smoke ever so slightly, but it doesn't really change that trajectory at all. Lemke now under pressure. He should get caught on double stack, and Iceberg is happy to push all the way forward to take that one. Good recovery kill. And of course, Iceberg, he was one who pushed forward. He had the bomb pushing forward, so it was definitely a little bit risky. He comes back, plants it. Now it's pretty hard for Monte coming back in. The flank is being watched. There goes Sticko. There goes Hades. There goes the Krasnal. Is not close enough for this one.
They're just following one another into the underworld, man. There they all go, one by one. Krasnal left alone, quivering in the corner, cowering. Doesn't even have a kit, so won't see any crazy thing here of a potential ninja. And Sashi take a big step in the direction of closing out the series by winning that pistol round. Do we even see Monte go for the force buy here to try and stop the flow from Sashi? Do they forego another round here? I mean, that pistol run was really good out of Sashi because it's not like they even had anything, I mean, everything going their way, right? Like, they get smoked off initially from Gap and have to repart their way in towards A. They even lost the first pick in the round.
Yeah. I think if they forced it, you'd hate it. I know you would.
Oh, but, you know me so well.
But, yeah, they're not going to, so clearly just your aura has made them stop force buying in this round.
Sub me in, coach.
Who has the most aura out of all Counter-Strike players in history? Like, Simple is obviously one of them.
I was gonna be my first choice for sure. Apex is, I guess. Aura.
No, it's not really aura. No.
Yeah.
I'm more thinking of someone like if you see him in a clutch, say he's like 1 versus 2,
Apex.
and you're just like the aura scares you away almost. Like,
Zipper's got to be one of them for sure. Then
that's a good one then. Yeah.
Absolutely got some crazy aura where people just see that they're playing against Zip in a clutch and they'll kind of bot out.
Donk's getting some aura over time.
He is.
Purely just seeing him as an opponent though, just knowing you're gonna get owned pretty much very often.
Astralis player has to be Device. I feel like Device has got some like GOAT aura about him for sure.
Course. Yeah,
When I throw it back a little bit, like JW and Olaf absolutely had aura about them. Crazy
100%.
aura. It's actually a really cool conversation. Can we pause the game?
Guys, going to put up your aura #1 in chat, then feel free. I'm sure there are many options from all the eras over the years. Iceberg, well, he doesn't want to let this era last too much longer. Iceberg running him down with the Mac-10, and look at how they're just pinching Sticko into an elevator. He has no way out whatsoever. This gun round is gone, and Monte might be too very soon.
How good is this team's coordination, though, in the chaos? I mean, there's so much going on the bomb side, but just working so well as little duos, as little units there, just trading each other out, just pinging contact off of each other. Fearless from Iceberg. I mean, he's such a selfless individual as well with the Mac-10 just charging in towards A. Thrusts himself in first. He even gets a kill, rewarded for his efforts, and then his teammates just trade their way forward from there. That's an 11th round on the board for Sashi, and the all-important gun round, the gun round that meant everything to Monte, has just been steamrolled.
Yeah, Sashi just kept the pace up, didn't they? Very similar pace to some of their previous rounds in this game. And in this series, actually, I was more thinking about like at the pace they have put forth, the difference and differing rounds they choose to throw that pace in as well. Sometimes they can just throw 2 in a row out of nowhere. Sometimes they'll go for slow defaults. It's exactly what you do. Make yourself as hard to predict as possible.
Yeah. They don't want to give time to Monte to settle in the round either, because they know that, I mean, this team just don't have reps on Vertigo, obviously, right? So you want to try and force the issue as much as possible. And they're going to keep up the pace here as well.
timing. Hades, okay, this time. Even though Iceberg had a lot of space in mid, a lot of space to even, you know, stand in the open and smoke elevator, Hades says no you don't and gets himself 2.
Oh, a labored spray, so much damage done. Demka will still get out with his life intact though, so the round's looking very good for Monte to clap back. They've spent all their money coming into this round, and they should be rewarded. I mean, Lucky's hearing a lot of footsteps in towards mid right now, and he's actually been able to find a bit of a gap. For a moment, no one's looking in this direction. Stiko will head back, but he's kind of bobbing and weaving back and forth. Lucky! Oh, should have had that kill dead to right, but Stiko will adjust, and now it's impossible for Cabby. Great angle held here. All I was going to say, thought that Krasnal would finish it off, but Cabby does take him down. The problem is that the bomb is in full control of the CT side.
Yep. Smoked off as well. Actually wouldn't make... it wouldn't be a crazy idea here to save, actually, considering the fact that he's got 25-50. The loss bonus won't come through for him, of course, but Iceberg, he'll be maybe struggling for a little bit of utility, so I think it's probably the best choice, and that's what he's going to do. He knows that his team are in a very good position, so...
Okay, well, Monte do exactly what was required of them, Trav. I mean, there's still such a long way back here. 6 rounds the gap. Sashi just 2 away from finishing off the job and winning their maiden game here in the ESL, or ECL, should I say, season 48.
Be a mouthful sometimes. ESL Challenger League, ECL. Get the S or the C
Both
wrong.
work,
Both
actually.
work, though. Both are correct.
Yeah.
Tongue twisters.
They should be able to just count the util coming through here and have a good idea that there are numbers towards ramp right now for the T side. I don't think they could tell for a fact that there were 3, but certainly 2. Double nade! Dunks down on D here. Quez says, listen, I know a good position on that B bomb site, so he's probably playing from there.
Map knowledge.
Using the architecture to their advantage, and now they're just going to group up and try and get in towards A. Krasnal wants to disrupt this, and it's the author who he's going to find the back turn. Kill comes through, lineup not going to work out.
Demka will be upset with that one. Surely he felt like he could have got it and should have got it. Hades as well to at least swing a little bit and recover it to a 2v2. And there's still 40 seconds left in this one. Mr. and Quez can absolutely take their time and maybe figure this one out. Quez, wouldn't surprise me if he goes back to the AK. That's exactly what he does, yeah. Picked up the AWP briefly, but goes back to the rifle. Now 30 seconds. Mr. just waiting to see if one of these 2 players of Monte just go a little bit further. Sticker holding that wide off angle that maybe a player could shift into. Oh, he just moves off of it slightly by a pixel. And that throws him off slightly. And that was the critical moment in this round. Because Sticker was full HP. Hades, of course, is not. He needs to now 1v2. And if he was full health, this smoke defuse, I would absolutely favour it, to be honest. But I just...
Yeah, you're right.
Not on 33. He's going to tap it first. He's going to look for Quez, but Quez is too strong. Triple for him. And Sashi have many, many match points.
All of the match points available here for Sashi, and just such a good recovery from them as well to get back into that round. It was looking a little bit shaky at one point, but yeah, just great shooting there from Quez in particular. Getting that kill on Stiko was monumental, and Hades was too low there, really, as you say. I mean, at least they're able to get 3 M4s here, but have to win 7 rounds in a row. They've only pieced 5 together so far.
I think this round is not live. Going by the ticks up in
I think
chat,
that's a
I'm
safe
hearing.
call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's because of Iceberg. He's gone. Now there's 2 Quezes. Imagine. With all that map knowledge of Vertigo, the map might explode. They are making the map explode right now with all these bomb plants and round wins.
Yeah, true. It's been such a well-rounded team performance from Sashi, though, hasn't it? They're all between 13 and 11 kills. Just a 2-kill differential across the board. And Monte aren't far from that either. Wait, what? Everybody on the server bar Stiko is between 10 and 13 kills, Trav.
Yeah. Sometimes it can go like that, can't it? Well, how many kills did Iceberg have? Wait. Do you remember? Don't check HLTV, that's cheating.
No, I'm not. He was 17 kills. 17 at the start of the half.
Okay.
So, you're right. He's probably... I'm going to say 18. I think he's got 18 kills now.
Okay.
That's true. Just throws it out a little bit.
Yeah. He's back in the server now, so... The,
18 for 11. I didn't check. That's God's truth right there.
See, I reckon you could raw dog a cast easily. No
Mate,
HLTV.
I would starve. I would
no
starve.
HLTV,
That'd be
no
my
food,
problem.
no second monitor, no phone. Do you think you could do it?
A best of one? Sure.
What about best of 3?
A best of 3 would be a stretch.
What about best of 3 between Ruby and Incilio? That would be no offense to those two teams.
Might be a bit more difficult, but one day we should try it out, Trav.
Yeah.
We'll have to film ourselves doing it.
Good
for the
God.
content.
Yeah, that would be... I'm not sure that would be as exciting for some people, but there we are. Slightly annoying for Sashi to have that slight technical hitch then and there, with Iceberg timing out, but looks like you would think it wouldn't affect him too much. Monte, their buy to save the game isn't the best. 3 M4s, an MP9 and a FAMAS. Utility is somewhat limited as well. They've got flash and smokes, but that's pretty much it. Quez will drop the bomb. That probably would have been heard by Monte.
Yeah, sure.
Quite a loud noise from that range. Oh, there's Lucky though.
Yeah, just being patient. This is what the AWPer does more often than not on the T side towards ramp, just posted up. As Iceberg, he is again on the front lines. He's not going to expect Diha in the corner, so he just leaps to his death. Diha just trying to get out of position and avoid the trade. Does inflict a bit of chip damage in the process. Still the man advantage here for Sashi.
Diha managing to fall back and stay pretty healthy as well with 70 HP. Can definitely do some work still if they do decide to go toward B. He's shifting back toward window though, and that mid area. I think he knows the timing of the round that it's unlikely Sashi are going to pounce right now, but if he did, it would be a bit awkward. Of course, he's been tasked with that mid luck just in case, and if he hears any utility go toward B, then he can call someone over, and Demka is that man that's come over to help out, but oh, he's going to get caught. That is the timing that I mentioned could just catch them off guard. Now Dia has to do nearly everything, and Lucky's going to catch him through the corner of the smoke as well. It's all down to Krasnal. Monte had an okay start with this roster. It's going to take some time for them all to fit in. But Sashi, they are the higher ranked team. They are the better team, and they have proved it today. Lucky with a fantastic vertigo, a fantastic series overall, actually, from Lucky. Sashi played one in the ECL this season, won one.
Oh, great start for them, especially in a group that's as stacked as Group D. There are just so many teams that could go on to claim those spots and qualify for the next stage. So every game is of utmost importance, and they picked up a win against a good team here. Yes, you want to play Monte a bit earlier on in the season as well, right? So that kind of does bode well for them. Big victory. I mean, that result on Nuke was a hard-fought one for them, as you say. Lucky was phenomenal there. 28 kills and 14 deaths on Nuke. And then in the winning cause here has a fantastic game on Vertigo as well. So, yeah, Sashi got 2-1. They're going to be very happy with that result. As for Monte, quite a lot left to be desired there on Vertigo.
Yeah, that was a rough one for them, and you know, you can kind of forgive them because, as I say, it's only their third official with the roster. There's lots of things for them to work out, but yeah, just that slight few percentage was missing. They'll probably look back to Nuke. You mentioned it already. They'll probably look back to Nuke. Those little micro mistakes that were made on Nuke, especially in overtime. Those 2 clutches that you know, they could have been 14-12 in front rather than 14-12 behind. Right? That kind of turned the whole game. They had that one opportunity, of course, in regulation, and they couldn't take it. Our player to watch, of course, was Hades. He played actually quite well over the course of the entire series, but it was a little bit more absent on Vertigo, and that didn't help Monte's cause.
Yeah, they did look a little bit lost on the T side. I think it's the first half of the series where they looked like they didn't really have much of a run of the T side on Vertigo. You know, there was the 5v3 as well where they get those 2 opening kills towards ramp or towards B stairs at the start of the round, and then they just pump the brakes, and that's what gives Zampi a chance to kind of get back in the round. So I think that Vertigo is one of the maps that, yeah, Hades will take a bit more time to sort of come to terms with in terms of how he's going to call with this particular team, but certainly nothing that can't be remedied with time.
Absolutely. And yeah, I think for Sashi, they'll just be delighted. I think if it's their first game in a very tough group, as we said. So yeah, I think to come up with a win in what was a very tough opponent, they would have known that coming in. Is very solid for them, and they'll be delighted. So, but that's,
shout out
of course,
to your prediction there as well, mate. Got to give you your credit where it's due there. That was your prediction coming into this one off the bat. I was a contrarian, went with Monte. Would have liked to have chosen them anyway, so I won't say that's the only reason I went in that direction. So
there you go.
Bang on, Trav. Good call, mate.
Yeah, I was a little bit worried. Maybe Sashi came back from EWC and we were a little bit, tired perhaps. And that first map, there was signs of that, but they absolutely ramped up into the series, didn't they? And they deserved it for sure. But yeah, it's time for us to end now. It's been a very fun series. I thought it might deliver, and I'm very happy to say it did. It was a pleasure to cast alongside Matt, as always. Great pleasure to bring you the coverage. Thanks to everyone in production for this evening, and thank you to you for watching. But it's time to end the stream, and cheers. Have a good night.